for some of their skirmishes that have been going on for centuries, where they're fighting each other and yelling Allah Akbar, calling jihad on each other's heads forever and ever. Like I've said before, let them duke it out and let Allah sort it out. To stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Because a weak-kneed capitulator-in-chief has decided that America will lead from behind. And he, who would negotiate deals, kind of like with the skills of a community organizer, maybe organizing a neighborhood tea, no more pussyfooting around. Our troops deserve the best. You deserve the best. He is from the private sector, not a politician. Can I get a hallelujah? Where in the private sector you actually have to balance budgets in order to prioritize, to keep the main thing the main thing. And he knows the main thing, a president, is to keep us safe economically and militarily. He knows the main thing, and he knows how to lead the charge. So troops, hang in there, because help's on the way, because he, better than anyone, isn't he known for being able to command fire? Are you ready for a commander-in-chief? You ready for a commander-in-chief who will let our warriors do their job and go kick ISIS ass?
I love Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is fantastic. Without her friendship and support, I wouldn't be in the Senate today.
I believe it would be a big mistake for Iowa to support him. And I know he's ahead in the polls, but the only poll that counts is the one they take on caucus night.
secure our borders to secure our jobs and to secure our homes. Ready to make America great again. Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
You have to be a good neighbor. Otherwise, I'm going to be up your butt every day. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be up the butt every day to make sure that the commitments that Ricketts make and the commitments that the mayor makes are actually solidified by your support as colleagues.
there is no classified material. So I'm certainly well aware of the classification requirements.
Good morning. Yeah, I don't think there was anything military on those emails. She was just going on People Finders to track down Bill's latest girlfriend. So there's nothing about that. But I wanted to say, yeah, she's got her own. I just wanted to say congratulations. We have less than a year of the Obama nation left, and we should be doing a countdown to the pardons. Who's he going to pardon? The Jackson family? The Daley family? Tony Resco, is he getting out? Maybe he could even pardon Bruce for these bad impersonations he does.
But Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. This rough January at the stock market may get even worse this morning. Dow futures down more than 300 points as markets plunge overseas. Fox's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, European shares sliding to a 13-month low. Markets here in London, plus in Germany and France, all down around 3%. In Asia, Japan's main index closed down 3.7%, and in Hong Kong, down 3.8%, its biggest daily fall since August. The problem seems to be, firstly, concern about the continuing fall in oil prices, and also the IMF's decision to downgrade its growth forecast for the world economy. Dave?
Simon, at least 20 people are dead in Pakistan after Taliban gunmen stormed a university, killing at least 20 people. Army troops responded, killing all 4 of the attackers. Hillary Clinton's private email server apparently had even more sensitive info than first reported when she was Secretary of State. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Above top secret, a classification of intelligence called special access programs was found in several dozen of Clinton's emails, according to an Intelligence Community Inspector General report obtained by Fox News. State Department John Kirby would only say
there are reviews and investigations going on about past email practices here at the department, and I am simply not at liberty to discuss the content.
A Clinton spokesperson says the intelligence community is working with congressional Republicans to leak information to try to hurt her presidential campaign. Dave?
Rachel, several polls have Bernie Sanders rising in the Democratic race. One has him trailing here by just 12. In the national race, another has Sanders ahead of Clinton by 27 points in New Hampshire. In the Republican race,
things are going to change under President Trump.
Sarah Palin endorsing Donald Trump in Iowa.
You ready for a commander-in-chief who will let our warriors do their job and go kick ISIS ass?
Palin had supported Trump's rival Ted Cruz in his 2012 Senate race. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy and 15 degrees, snow tapering off at this hour. Winds out of the north calm to 2 miles an hour at 6:02. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. The next move in the fight between the Chicago Public Schools and Governor Bruce Rauner over funding and the pension crisis is expected to be a call for bankruptcy. We get details this morning from AM 560's David Stewart.
John, Republicans have called a news conference raising speculation they'll push for Chicago Public Schools to be allowed to declare bankruptcy as part of a larger financial solution. Governor Rauner didn't confirm that, but he has suggested it before and said something has to be done because Mayor Emanuel has caved in to the teachers union.
Hurt the taxpayers, hurt the school children as a result. I'm very concerned of the trajectory where we're going with CPS. And right now, the mayor's only real message to the state government is, hey, we failed financially. Our school children, send us $500 million.
Bankruptcy could alleviate some of the system's pension obligations. David Stewart, Chicago.
Those vying to become Chicago's next top police officer will be asked how they would deal with the so-called code of silence among officers. Police Board President Lori Lightfoot said the 39 applicants for the superintendent's job will be asked for creative solutions to motivate officers to come forward when they see misconduct. A University of Illinois analysis says the state received about $53 million less in a recent bond sale than it could have because of Illinois' poor financial shape. The university's Government and Public Affairs Institute released the analysis of a $480 million general obligation bond sale. It found Illinois received $53 million less compared with bonds issued in 2006. A former DuPage County Forest Preserve District IT manager headed behind bars. David Tepper will serve 180 days on a corruption charge. Chicago sports. Blackhawks over Nashville 4-1. Patrick Kane, a goal and an assist. And Hawks headman Joel Quenneville says they played well enough in this game to make some team history.
Great run. You know, we've been starting quick, and today we had to weather a good start by them. And, you know, that we're patient with our team game and scoring first, a couple nice plays on our goals. And hey, we defend well in the third and had to lead a lot in the stretch here, which really helped our team game.
That's 12 straight wins for the Blackhawks. College hoops, Maryland topped Northwestern in overtime. NIU now 15-3. Our Huskies a win over Central Michigan, 75-70. Indiana topped Illinois 103-69. The news service of Lead Safe America. What looks like ADD or autism may actually be caused by lead poisoning. Lead is a neurotoxin. It can cause permanent brain damage. Find out how to protect your family. Go to ledsafeamerica.org. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper.
It's over there on that piece of paper.
The Joe Walsh Show.
The guy doesn't give a damn about the Second Amendment. He can't even say the word Constitution. He can't even say it's right there in the Bill of Rights. It's right there in the United States Constitution. This son of a gun can't even say that.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy is committed to helping you and your wallet stay healthy.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance saving me money on prescriptions. They can help you too.
Start saving for the things you love. Visit healthmart.com to find a locally owned Health Mart pharmacy near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a .com domain name for only $2.99 for the first year. Right now at GoDaddy.com. 2-year purchase required. Second year is $14.99.
6:06 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing delays on the inbound Kennedy with the express lane still closed for snow removal. The delay started Canfield, and it's slow in pockets to Diversey. 28 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Eden's about 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21 after a crash near Foster. Inbound Eisenhower tied up St. Charles to Manheim with a crash in the left lane. 40 minutes Thorndale to downtown, outbound 36. Inbound Stevenson, slow and snowy. It's 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Orion, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57. 22 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishopford, 30 due to the snow. Northbound Tri-State. Had a lot of crashes in the last couple of hours. One southbound at Cicero in the left lane. Northbound stop and go from I-80 to past Cicero after a separate crash cleared. Adams Tollway eastbound, slow going 31 to 59 with the right lane blocked due to an accident. Then slow Bussy to Lee. Reagan Tollway. Jammed Washington to pass Naperville Road and Highland to Midwest. Westbound Yackley to Naperville after a crash. And I-80 going to the southbound Tri-State. There's a crash on the ramp, blocking the open road tolling lanes. Traffic service at Jewel Osco. From yogurt and Go Cups to Snapple, Campbell's Soup Bowls, and more. Don't miss the Big 10 for $10 sale going on now at your local Jewel Osco store. Mix, match, and save on all your favorite items and get the 11th item free. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Clouds today with some sun for the afternoon, high 22. Mostly cloudy night, low 10. Cloudy most of the day tomorrow with a high 28 and a mostly cloudy night, low 16. Mainly cloudy Friday with a couple of flurries during the day, high 31. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer. 14
at O'Hare, 16 along the lakefront, 9 above in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in with us today on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. Get top-tier catering for a budget-friendly price. Plan your party now at tastycatering.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
This just might be the kind of move that excites someone that supports Donald Trump but wasn't sure if they were going to go out and caucus on a cold night.
And there is news on the Democratic side of the race tonight, too. A surging Bernie Sanders is giving Hillary Clinton's campaign another reason to worry. A brand new poll shows that Clinton has an incredible amount of ground to make up in New Hampshire if it holds up.
That inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning. Thank you so much for making us a part of your morning. Amy Jacobson in here. Bruce Wolf in for Dan Proft today. And
hello again, everybody.
What an exciting day it is. We have a lot of news. Illinois Republican lawmakers move to take over CPS. We've got Senator Ron Johnson here to talk about that latest Taliban attack, 20 students killed in Pakistan. Of course, Hillary Clinton's emails, she went beyond top secret.
Top secret.
Top secret. But
it's like an 11 in secrecy.
Yes, but we're going to begin this hour with, I call it Strange Bedfellows, the land of misfit toys, Sarah Palin and Donald Trump joining forces.
How about the rest of us? Right-wing and bitter clinging, proud clingers of our guns, our God, and our religions and our Constitution. Tell us that we're not red enough? Yeah, coming from the establishment, right.
Okay,
can I shout out to President Obama's, gun clingers?
Okay, I needed a translation. Right-wing and gun clinging, rah, rah, rah. Oh, and it didn't stop there. This happened. It was about 20 insufferable minutes. That's how I describe it, of her joining forces with Donald Trump. They were in Cedar Falls, Iowa, Northern Iowa, and the crowd didn't really respond the way that I thought they were going to.
Neither did Trump.
When they announced her, it was kind of a tepid smattering of applause, and she came out and just got cooking.
No more pussyfooting around. Yeah. Our troops deserve the best. You deserve the best.
And she swore a little bit there, Mr. Bruce Wolf.
He is from the private sector, not a politician. Can I get a hallelujah? Where in the private sector you actually have to balance budgets in order to prioritize, to keep the main thing. And he knows the main thing. A president is to keep us safe economically and militarily. He knows the main thing, and he knows how to lead the charge. So troops, hang in there because help's on the way, because he, better than anyone, isn't he known for being able to command fire? Are you ready for a commander-in-chief? You ready for a commander-in-chief who will let our warriors do their job and go kick ISIS ass?
Okay.
See, I have no problem with this because I'm kind of sympathetic to Trump. And the thing is that, and I know a lot of people, a lot of conservatives hate this. And you can read Charles C.W. Cook in National Review. He actually predicted that Trump and Sarah Palin were allies because this is all part of, politics as entertainment.
Well, she was the Trump before Donald Trump was Donald Trump when it comes to politics.
Well, somebody said that you have a politician turned reality star.
Well, they're both
Sarah Palin.
They're both TV reality stars.
Matched up with a reality star turned politician, Donald Trump. So, and of course, you can find all the contradictions. Donald Trump ripped John McCain, her former running mate, and now she's endorsing Trump. But there's a rearrangement here, and the problem is that Trump appeals to a lot of disaffected Democrats, to a lot of Republicans who are fed up with what's going on, and that's why he's surviving. And everybody wrote him off a long time ago, and it looks like with this endorsement, he might be able to get Iowa, and if he gets Iowa and New Hampshire, game over, right?
Well, his campaign has been run so brilliantly, and I see why they brought her in to stir the evangelical base.
Because she doesn't really appeal to evangelicals that much anymore. No.
Well, that's the thing. And we want to take your calls too. 312-642-5600. That's our Turnkey.pro answer line. Send us a text on our Turnkey.pro text line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment, or you can call or email us directly from the AM 560 mobile app on your smartphone. Does this, and the question being, there's a number of questions. Does this hurt or help Donald Trump? Is Sarah Palin abandoning her faith? She was the Tea Party darling who is pro-life.
There's no Tea Party
and
anymore.
Donald Trump is a former Democrat, pro-choice. Now he's pro-life. How could she? It's just such strange bedfellows for me that I don't know if she's just trying, if this is for, it feels like another reality TV show for me. You have this, political firebrand meet political firebrand.
You know what it is? Here's the legitimate appeal of Donald Trump. And you got people like Mark Stein, who is no lightweight, sympathizing with Trump. I don't know if he's going, full bore endorsement. But the basic, Donald Trump is saying we need a nation. As Kevin Williamson in National Review has written, people are not widgets. They are people. You have to have a national character. And if you don't have a nation with borders, then you don't have anything else. Forget about freedom of speech. Forget about gun rights. Forget about for everything else. And you see what's happening in Europe right now. You see the migrants taking over. You see everybody
raping women.
Everybody
I get
cowering. You've got, where are the feminists in Cologne right now? You don't hear them anymore because, as Stein has written, the demographics is destiny, or our destiny. And and the Muslims are taking over a lot faster than we thought. I hate to sound jingoistic.
I feel like she's abandoning her faith because Trump has had so many progressive views over the years that I don't know why. The obvious choice, the obvious fit for me was for her to support Ted Cruz. And yesterday, Ted Cruz quickly came out and responded because it was a big smack in the face to him that Sarah Palin decided to take Trump over Ted.
I love Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is fantastic. Without her friendship and support, I wouldn't be in the Senate today.
Right, because in 2012, she backed him and went on the campaign trail with Ted Cruz, and that's why he believes he's a senator from Texas.
I'm just saying.
So he didn't bash her at all yesterday, and
it was
his
a
response.
bad day for him, especially because Branstad, the governor, also came out against Ted Cruz yesterday.
Yeah, Ted Cruz. And the governor, real quickly, let's just touch on that. The governor did, and I only talk about this because I've lived in Iowa. Farming is a big deal. Farming is everything in Iowa. And Ted Cruz has changed his position yet again and decided to vote against renewable energy. And for farmers, that renewable energy is everything. And Governor Branstad told voters in Iowa not to vote for Ted Cruz.
I believe that would be a big mistake for Iowa to support him. And I know he's ahead in the polls, but the only poll that counts is the one they take on caucus night.
And he's telling people on caucus night, do not vote for Ted Cruz. He didn't tell them who to vote for, but said don't vote for Ted.
And it's a contradiction for Sarah Palin, who rails against crony capitalism, to be with Donald Trump, who supports the ethanol subsidy. I get all that. The thing is that the bedrock principle, as Dan likes to call first principles, well, the very first principle is that we have a nation. And everything else is kind of gravy. And so that's why I see some rationale for Sarah Palin and a lot of people, a lot of conservatives supporting Donald Trump because he stands for a national identity.
Yeah, but is she a political has-been? 312-642-5600. In 2010, she endorsed 64 candidates. 33 of them won. And yesterday when she was, up there hanging out with Trump and just spewing this crazy rhetoric. I mean, listen, this is how she would fight ISIS.
We're paying for some of their skirmishes that have been going on for centuries, where they're fighting each other and yelling Allah Akbar, calling jihad on each other's heads forever and ever. Like I've said before, let them duke it out and let Allah sort it out.
I like the malapropism, skirmishes. It's kind of like a hybrid of squeamish and skirmish.
And
I like it.
Don't forget your ABCs.
This election is more than just your basic ABCs. Anybody but Clinton. It's more than that this go around.
Your phone call's coming up. Grab a line, 312-642-5600. Is this going to hurt or help Donald Trump?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
A lot of spin-outs on the road because the weather is just dicey. When's the snow going to end and some relief in sight?
Well, it's going to be cold, cloudy this morning, and then times of clouds and sun this afternoon, high at 23. Tonight, mostly cloudy and cold, a low of 11. Tomorrow, cloudy most of the time, high at 29, low tomorrow night, 14. Now, with a check of that crazy traffic this morning, here's Jim Telemonte.
It's getting heavier in a hurry, Bruce and Amy. Eden's inbound stop and go Peterson to the junction. 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. The Kennedy, the express lanes have opened from the Diversey slip, so we're getting there, but the delays are mounting. It's 45 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 17 from Montrose. Outbound, about a 5-minute delay, Austin to Cumberland with a crash on the right side. Eisenhower, delay start around St. Charles, 47 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 36. Stevenson, now 49 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford 30. Tri-State, Northbound, it's slow from Holstead past Cicero after a crash. It's a long delay. Then Plainfield Road to Cermak with a crash in the left lane. Adams Tollway gummed up 31 to 59, crash in the right lane. Reagan Tollway very slow, 53 to Midwest, and Roosevelt to the Eisenhower. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com, Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what Amy did when she needed a mortgage, and that's call David Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. George called to finance a condo he was purchasing in Colorado. David reviewed George's current mortgage he secured from his good friend at his bank to see if it made sense to use George's current home equity for the new condo's down payment. David asked George if his good friend bought him flowers, chocolates, and gave him cab fare because he had a terrible loan. David recommended doing a cash-out refinance, which would reduce his current rate and use his home's equity for the down payment on the condo. This also allowed George to not borrow from his retirement account, which he didn't want to do. If you're purchasing a home and want to work with an honest lender, do what Amy did. Call David, 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. That's am560david.com. David helped Amy as well as thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help if you don't call. So call David, 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333. Pearl Mortgage is an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358. Licensed by DBO under California RMLA NMLS 19186. PearlMortgage.com/licensing.
Being trained for a medical emergency in your workplace can save a life.
Shh. Analyzing. Shock advised. Stay clear of patient. Press the flashing orange button now.
Thanks to technology and training from Lifesavers Health and Safety Training, tragedy can be avoided.
Shock delivered.
She's breathing.
Thanks to this well-trained employee, a life was saved. A well-trained workplace safety team can be the difference between life and death. In as little as 4 minutes, brain damage begins. It takes an average of 7 to 10 minutes for an emergency response team to arrive. Lifesavers Health and Safety Training prepares your team with American Red Cross certified CPR, first aid, and defibrillator classes. At your facility, you'll gain the skills and confidence necessary to respond to life-threatening situations. Call Lifesavers Health and Safety Training at 847-571-7981 or visit lifesavers-training.com. 847-571-7981.
I'm Lex, CEO of Balance of Nature. At Balance of Nature, we believe in real communication. Whether you call into the office or hear a success story on the radio, you can be sure it's real, unsolicited, and unscripted conversation.
There were times I was finding myself almost falling asleep at the wheel, that I had to pull over. That's the first thing I noticed, that hasn't happened since I've been taking Balance of Nature. I'm in sales, so I do a lot of walking during the day that would tire me out. I'm not as fatigued. I feel good.
The top 3 New Year's resolutions are health-related. Improve your odds by getting started early with our best price of the year. Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, so I have a conspiracy theory. Did Donald Trump pay Sarah Palin for her endorsement? That's one of my theories. And then she looks a little, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to get into it. No. You know what?
Catty woman.
I'm not going there. But
you thought she looks fat. You think Sarah Palin looks fat.
No. I've just seen
You're
her.
You're so insecure in
No, I'm not insecure. But the outfit that she wore was like from the Marilyn McCoo line or Earth, Wind, and Fire backup singer.
My body's getting fat.
There was a lot of bling going on, and I'm telling you, that doesn't sell in Cedar Falls, Iowa. I've been to Cedar Falls, Iowa, and that's not Cedar Falls, Iowa. She would have been better if she just wore the black leather coat, But anyway.
You got haters gonna hate.
Who cares about what she looked like? It's what she said that really made me wonder why I supported for her. I voted for her and John McCain back in the day.
In that order.
Yeah, that's how it went. And here's some quick highlights.
Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
And she attacked President Obama.
Because a weak-kneed, capitulator in chief has decided that America will lead from behind. And he who would negotiate deals, kind of like with the skills of a community organizer, may be organizing a neighborhood tea.
Well, she meant to say deals, but I think she wanted to rhyme deals with skills. So
Yeah,
it's deals and
it
skills.
was just a
All right.
hot mess. 312-642-5600 is our number. Let's go to Joe, who joins us from the north side. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. It sounded like Sarah Palin had a Howard Dean moment last night. That's all.
And they're going to win Iowa. They're going to win Iowa because of Trump, because of her, maybe. And if they get Iowa and New Hampshire, game over.
Let's go to Sharon, who joins us from Addison. Good morning, Sharon.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking the call. You know, I think it's going to hurt Donald Trump because both the former Governor Palin and Trump are against capital cronyism. Well, this is the ultimate in government cronyism for Donald Trump, just in the name of getting elected and winning the caucus in Iowa, capitulating to the governor there and saying, yeah, I'm for ethanol subsidies. You're either a conservative or you're not. You either want to get government out of our business or you don't. And it sounds like Donald Trump can actually now be bought off. That may piss a lot of people off out there who are Trumpites, but I mean, let's face it, that is not a conservative stance.
You know, Sharon,
and I wonder,
yeah. I subscribe to the belief that everybody loves something about Trump and hates himself for it. I mean, I hate that. I hate that he criticized Scalia. I hate, his trade policies. I hate a lot of things, but there's a couple of things I do like, that he wants a national character. Borders are a big deal. And also that he's in your face on the media. Is there anything redeemable about Donald Trump to you?
well, you know what? I like him, but like I said, the problem is this. We're either going to be for capital cronyism, and the government's even worse. They're taking our tax dollars to do this. They are stealing from the taxpayer coffers to subsidize ethanol. Is that redeemable? I don't think so. This is why we're in the debt we're in. This is why we're in the problem. Living in Illinois all my life, I could tell you why we're in the debt we're in. And Trump is basically, I'm surprised that Palin is backing this.
Yep, there's a lot of people are. Thank you, Sharon, for the phone call. Let's move on to Tom, who joins us from Elgin. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, Bruce and Amy. I did want to say to Bruce, we love hearing you, and we can't wait till you get your own show, Bruce Wolf. Bruce Wolf,
Bruce,
you know that.
Follow me on Twitter. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I have a show on Twitter, like every second.
I got 3 quick points. First of all, we all know that Uni is not in Ames, Iowa. The event last night was Ames, Iowa. Normally I wouldn't pick on it, but as a girl at Corn, it was a fault, I believe.
Okay, sorry. It was Iowa State, not Northern Iowa. Sorry.
Well, you're quite proud of your Iowa heritage. Under the Go Light banner, if you mix some Ensure with your Go Light, then it goes down a little bit easier. I did drink a gallon right when your mom was in the hospital. I was in the hospital with the colon removal, and we're all praying. We're all praying for you as we prayed for your mom, Amy. And I hope it goes well. And don't fear. Colon problems are one of the easiest compared to heart and brain. So we're praying for you there.
Amy's got ethanol coming out of her right now. Go ahead, Tom.
And then finally, under the Tea Party. Yeah, you might think that the Tea Party is dead, but out west, the Tea Party is very active still, and that might be where they're going for some of the votes. Plus, Sarah Palin does have a following still, Bruce. I think you were negligent when you said she has no following. She's a has-been.
No,
I
said that, but thanks, Tom, for the phone call.
Tom, I wasn't merely negligent.
A lot of things are moving around in this studio.
Tremendous. It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Winter weather is here, and this season's roller coaster ride and temperatures can be especially taxing on your business's mechanical HVAC system. That's why it's important to schedule a comprehensive review of your system today with Air Comfort, Chicagoland's leading mechanical professionals. For more than 80 years, Air Comfort has maintained hundreds of businesses' HVAC systems throughout Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Why do they trust their mechanical systems to Air Comfort? It's It's simple because they understand that Air Comfort has the best trained and highly skilled team of award-winning technicians. That's why Air Comfort is recognized as an MSCA Star Contractor, a designation achieved by only 2% of contractors nationwide. With a large service fleet of more than 80 fully equipped vehicles, chances are that an Air Comfort technician is nearby. Schedule your system check by calling now, 708-345-1900, or online at aircomfort.com.
Congratulations. We did it because of your generosity. We were able to reach our goal and feed 18,000 children. That's right, real families that have real needs that you help to meet. And we especially want to thank our many business benefactors. And as a way of saying thanks to them, when you hear their commercials on this station, just buy their products. That would be great. And just because we met our goal in 2015, that doesn't mean that the need has gone away. Hunger is still a real challenge for thousands of families and children in our area. So please continue to support Feed the Children with a tax-deductible gift of any amount at any time. Just go to feedthechildren.org. And hey, thanks again from all of us here at AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up next on Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm exhausted.
Senator Ron Johnson bashes Hillary and also talks about this terrorist attack in Pakistan.
And Bernie Sanders has a new bus and new poll numbers. We'll explain. But first, back into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Bruce Wolf doing his best Philip Bailey this morning. Well done, man. 15 degrees outside, cloudy skies, snow beginning to taper off just a bit. We're following a developing story. Bruce and Amy have been telling you about it all morning long. The Taliban says it's behind an attack on a university in Pakistan that killed 21. 4 of the attackers, according to an Army spokesperson, were also killed. Depending on where you are this morning, you will see stepped-up security at schools. This after bomb threats were phoned into dozens of schools in at least 8 states yesterday. A sheriff in New Jersey, where 26 schools received the threat, said the calls were made in a robotic voice. It came from numbers generated by a computer in Bakersfield, California. Sarah Palin back in the political spotlight, stumping for Donald Trump.
Ready for someone who will secure our borders, to secure our jobs, and to secure our homes. Ready to make America great again. Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
The former vice presidential candidate making an endorsement yesterday. The Supreme Court says it will consider the president's plan to keep more than 4 million illegal immigrants from being deported. Trial attorney Bob Bianchi believes the president may have overstepped his bounds.
The executive branch of government can execute laws and use its discretion in some regards, but it can't just do complete overreach. These laws were passed. He's obviously against those laws, and it's inappropriate to go so far as to essentially make those laws invisible or eradicate them.
The justices will look at that dispute that centers on the president's executive actions from 2014. The governor of Michigan apologizing for the contaminated water situation in Flint. In a state of the state address, the governor says the National Guard will visit every home to make sure everyone in that city has safe drinking water.
I will release my 2014 and 2015 emails regarding Flint to you, the citizens, so you will have answers to your questions about what we've done and what we're doing to make this right for the families of Flint.
Snyder says that ensures transparency in the crisis. Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan today that may allow the Chicago Public Schools to declare bankruptcy. House Leader Jim Durkin and Senate Leader Christine Radogno scheduled to lay out that proposal during a news conference later today. Police in Woodstock confirmed that a missing 16-year-old girl has died in what looks like a murder-suicide in Phoenix. Faith Keys was reported missing last week. And the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says those skull fragments found inside a Chicago industrial building this week are nothing to be concerned about. The 13 fragments were sawed in a manner consistent with teaching or an autopsy, and the building they were found in used to be home to a large supplier of scientific materials and equipment. Chicago sports, Patrick Kane a goal and an assist in the Blackhawks win over Nashville 4-1. College hoops. A 15-3 year now for NIU. Our Huskies over Central Michigan in the MAC, 75-70. Maryland topped Northwestern in the Big Ten in overtime. Indiana trounced the Fighting Illini. The news, a service of Compassion International. There's a boy or girl living in poverty right now. they don't have enough to eat, or they're sick, or they can't go to school, and you can help release them from poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International at compassion.com/radio. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The weather in Chicago is cold. The weather in Los Cabos, Mexico is warm and sunny. AM 560 wants to send you to Los Cabos with Dan and Amy this April. Enter to win an all-expenses-paid trip to Secrets Porto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort, courtesy of Apple Vacations. The only way to enter to win is through the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. So download the mobile app today and enter to win a trip to Los Cabos.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, do you know my friend Laz Coulchar from Automated Systems, who sponsored and spoke at Freedom Summit and wowed the crowd with his story of escaping communism, coming to the U.S., and building a successful software and systems integration company? Here's Laz Coulchar to explain.
Thanks, Joe. I built my company to deliver solutions for industry's toughest automation challenges by giving clients customized solutions to make production lines, facilities, and plants run with less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. Our systems provide reliability and deep insight into our clients' manufacturing operations for companies of all sizes, from Fortune 500 life science to successful startups.
Thanks, Laz. If you even suspect that Automated Systems could benefit your company, then call him. There's no obligation. Call Laz at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens is jammed from Gulf Road to the junction. Access to the inbound Kennedy Express lanes has just now opened. It had been shut down for snow removal, so things are bottled up. 49 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, southbound 21. The inbound Kennedy is now an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 18 minutes from Montrose, 8 in the Express, with the Express lanes now completely open. The outbound side is 40 minutes downtown to O'Hare. There's a crash on the right side at Cumberland. Inbound Eisenhower, 49 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 36. Stevenson, really jammed. Central to Kedzie, it's an hour and 8 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 32 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 40 minutes to 355. The delays at the south end start around US 30. Ryan looking at 25 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 18, I-57, 33 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 30, the Tri-State. Northbound delays are heavy from Dixie Highway to 87th, from the Stevenson to Cermak with a crash in the left lane. Adams Tollway really slow, 31 to 59 with a crash in the right lane. Reagan Tollway. Delays are eastbound 53 most of the way to the Eisenhower. Westbound jammed approaching Midwest after an earlier crash briefly had the roadway shut down. Traffic service to Jewel Osco, from yogurt, Go Cups to Snapple, Campbell's Soup Bowls, and more. Don't miss the big 10 for $10 sale going on now at your local Jewel Osco store. Mix, match, and save on all your favorite items. Get the 11th item free. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cloudy and cold this morning, snow beginning to taper off. Little sun breaks through this afternoon, high 23. 14 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in with us today on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Aging Info Radio. Heard Sunday mornings at 9, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
You know, while you were sleeping, there was another Taliban attack, this time in Pakistan at a university there. 20 students killed, and it's just not going to stop. The jihadists, the radical Muslims who want to kill us, and someone who's trying to do something about it is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. He's the chairman of Homeland Security, and he's going to be holding hearings titled Inside the Mind of ISIS, Understanding Its Goals and Ideology to Better Protect the Homeland. And with that, we welcome back to the program Senator Ron Johnson. Hold on. He joins us on our turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Very good.
So what's the point of the hearings? And what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, we really need to understand who's trying to kill us. You really have to get inside the mind, the motivations, the goals of what is your enemy trying to achieve. And, I think if we miss that, if we misunderstand the fact that this caliphate, holding this territory, is just central to their success, if you don't really understand that, you're not able to devise a strategy for actually defeating them. And I completely agree with President Obama's stated strategy of degrading, ultimately defeating, but you're not going to defeat them with an air war that doesn't deny them that territory because that is the true key.
Well, I mean, you're holding these hearings.
Today,
we know. I mean, we know the mind of ISIS. We know, they're medieval. Benjamin Netanyahu won't even call them radical Islam because he wants to be careful about it. And President Obama won't call it that either, obviously, for political reasons. But, I mean, we know what they're about. I mean, they're backwards. And they're the barbarians. And the barbarians are at the gates. They're at the gates in Cologne right now. I mean, you don't hear the feminists even crying about it anymore. And they are intimidating us. And so we know what we've got to do, right?
Well, I do. I think I've got a pretty clear picture. I call them Islamic terrorists. And again, I'm not saying this is 100% of Muslims, but it's a small percentage. But it's a percentage that's killing people. And, one of the things I point to is the State Department's START report, which really kind of lays out the history of how many terrorist attacks are in the world. In 2012, there were 6,700 terrorist attacks. Last year, there were 13,000. In 2012, there were 11,000 people killed. Last year, there were about 33,000 people killed. So the attacks have doubled. The number of people killed have tripled. And that's what we're dealing with right here. And the vast majority of those terrorist attacks were related to Islamic terror groups in one form or the other, either ISIS or Al-Qaeda or offshoots of those strains.
Do you ever see them joining forces? I mean, can you imagine a world if Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS, and the Taliban joined forces?
I think they're already loosely affiliated. At some points they battle each other. Sometimes they somewhat affiliate with themselves with each other. I mean, what should be frightening to anybody is that news reports say that there are 30 in 30 countries there are affiliates of ISIS alone. We held a hearing about a year ago. We called it Jihad 2.0, and one of our witnesses there said that on Twitter alone there were 46 to 90,000 overt ISIS support accounts. It just shows you how. By allowing ISIS to survive, to have this territory, to have this caliphate, as long as they're perceived as not losing, they're winners, and they're going to continue to inspire and recruit those types of adherents to their barbaric ideology.
Senator Johnson, wasn't it fascinating, President Obama touting the Iran deal? We got 98% of their material. Of course, we have no baseline on how much they actually had because we weren't allowed to find out how much they have. As Tom Rogan points out in a National Review, President Obama was talking about how we are going to be able to monitor the key installations, the key sites, not the non-key sites, the military sites that the inspectors won't be able to go into. And people fall for all this. You heard the Democratic debate the other night, and Lester Holt, if he could actually ask a decent question, might actually get some cred, some gravitas. But all the candidates get up there and say, "Oh, this is wonderful. This deal, it's horrible."
And what about the sites we don't know about? I've asked that very question. How do we know they only had 10,000 kilograms of enriched uranium? How do we know that? We don't. I mean, the bottom line is we don't. And so, to me, this is crazy. Why in the world would you enter into an agreement that will inject hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy and military of your self-proclaimed enemy, the largest state sponsor of terror in the world? You ought to be weakening your enemy, not strengthening him. And let's face it, I know President Obama did this with the hope of modifying Iran's behavior. It's been modified. It's been modified to the worst. They've been emboldened by this, as recent events have proven.
And my eyes rolled into the back of my head when I heard President Obama say that lifting of the economic sanctions had nothing to do with the 4 Americans who were released from prison.
It had everything to do. I mean, they
It
were
was
the
within hours of each other.
final hostage to make sure the $100 billion would be released. And then what's even crazier, we lift these sanctions, and then we finally impose some weaker sanctions because of the ballistic missile tests in violation of UN resolutions. I mean, this is such a disjointed policy. It's a strategy based on hope. It's a strategy of peace through withdrawal, and it's been a miserable failure, and it will be a miserable failure.
And what about the one former FBI agent who's been held captive and apparently Iranian officials lost him, Bob Levinson?
Right.
Is there any hope in the world that we will ever see him again or that he'll be reunited with his family?
Well, I hope there's hope, but it doesn't look real good at this point in time, does it?
It's I don't want to say everything is Munich 1938, but when you're Israel and you can't afford to make one mistake. I mean, do you think that actually at some point, I know former ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton, said Israel's going to wind up bombing them, and I know some of it is supposedly impenetrable, but if you smoke out the scientists, if you poison it, with the bombs or whatever, they're going to die, and they're going to find a way to do the dirty work that we won't do. Do you think that that's what's going to happen here, or are we just going to maybe we'll get some president to come in, a Republican president? Although I was a little bit leery when I heard Donald Trump say, it's okay to actually have a deal with them. He kind of thinks maybe he has the hubris to think that he can actually make a deal with these barbarians.
Appeasement has never worked. Denying reality has never worked to solve a problem. And so, that's the purpose of our hearing is let's lay out reality. Let's take a look at this, the cold, hard facts. Let's take a look at their behavior. Their behavior has been awful and has not been modified once until, they're setting all these forest fires all over the place. Then they offer one olive branch, and then we're supposed to, say, oh, this deal's actually worked. No, again, this deal has emboldened Iran. We've strengthened our enemy, and that's never a good thing.
Now, Senator Ron Johnson, I know a lot of people were horrified when our 10 sailors were captured, and the video that one was seen around the world of them on their knees, with their hands on top of their head, and their weapons were confiscated, their passports were checked. How is ISIS, the Taliban, Al-Qaeda going to use that in propaganda video to make America look weak?
Because it makes America look weak, and it makes them look strong. And so as long as they're strong, they will continue to be able to recruit additional people to their ideology. That's why you have to show strength. The Arab world only respects strength. They jeer at weakness, and that's what's happening right now. We've shown such a weak hand. We've shown such a lack of resolve, whether it's with Iran, whether it's with ISIS, whether it's with Vladimir Putin. And as a result, the world is a more dangerous place because the world really does need the values, the leadership, the strength of a strong America, and we're not showing that right now.
So was it a mistake that they ended up in Iranian waters, or did we call Iran for help because their boat broke down?
I do not have any more information than what you have based on what you hear in the news. That the Defense Department has not been exactly straightforward or real transparent in terms of what happened there.
Well,
but there's no doubt about.
You've read, Senator. I mean, I've saw from a former Navy SEAL or somebody saying, "Hey, there's no way that they stray. These routes are planned very carefully. There's no way that actually happened." I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe there'll be hearings about that as well.
Well, there should be. I mean, at least secure briefings so that we actually do know what's happened. I just have not been a part of those yet, so I don't have any more information than you have on that.
All right, so the hearing begins today at Capitol Hill at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 o'clock our time. Senator Ron Johnson holding a hearing titled Inside the Mind of ISIS. Thank you so much, Senator, for making us a part of your morning.
Have a great day.
And we'll have you back soon. And Senator Ron Johnson joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Winter weather is in full force. Is it going to go away anytime soon, the snow?
Oh, it was glistening in the morning. It was actually sparkling as I drove in, and it was sliding off the road. Very nice. Today, cold, cloudy this morning, then times of clouds and sun this afternoon, a high of 23 tonight, mostly cloudy and cold, a low of 11 tomorrow. Cloudy most of the time, high of 29, low tomorrow night. 14. Now with a check of that traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Bruce and Amy. Eden's inbound big delay started Old Orchard, 53 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, 1 hour from O'Hare to downtown, 18 minutes from Montrose. 9 in the Express. Outbound 51 minutes downtown to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's now an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, 46 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 44 to Thorndale. Northbound I-55 delays start at US 30. An hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 32 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 40 minutes to 355. Orion 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Issue Ford 50 minutes from 8094 to the Merge. Northbound Tri-State jammed. Dixie Highway to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Adams Tollway delays. 31 to before Beverly with a crash in the right lane. And approaching 294, Reagan Tollway slow all the way from the Aurora Toll to Midwest with a crash on the left shoulder. Westbound from the York Toll to Midwest. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Humanity will suffer with me. I'm Lou Dobbs. Another decline in crude oil prices. IBM reports lower revenue, and don't hold your breath for much corporate growth. Those stories next.
I believe in the American entrepreneur. The small business owner is truly the backbone of the American economy. Hi, I'm Steve Cooper, co-founder of Ursop.com, the entrepreneur rollover stock ownership plan. My partner Karen Franklin and I started Ursop.com over 15 years ago because we're on a mission to help as many people as possible open and run their own businesses, simply, quickly, and easily, by using their own retirement funds. Then 3, 4, 5 years later, put the money back and have the corporation carry on by itself. Then you'll have the business and the security of the retirement funds too. We recently worked with a gentleman who accomplished this in only 9 months. Ursop.com can set it up for you in about 2 weeks. It's pre-approved by the IRS and it's totally legal. We've helped thousands of people achieve the dream of being their own boss. Give us a call and let's talk about how we can help you too. Call 866-MY-ERSOP. That's 866-MYERSOP. Invest in yourself. Call 866-MY-ERSOP. 866-MY-ERSOP.
IBM reported an almost 9% decline in quarterly revenue as anemic IT spending cut into IBM sales. Shares of IBM down 2% in extended trading. The Dow Jones Industrials rose 28 points today after being up more than 180 points early in the session. Gains in the S&P 500 index limited by a decline in energy stocks and concerns over the lifting of sanctions on Iran caused U.S. oil prices to decline again. Crude oil fell to new 12-year lows. Light sweet crude settled at almost $28.50 a barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange, and an analyst for Barclays says his bank is projecting 4% earnings gains for companies in the S&P 500 this year, with share buybacks and cost containment driving decision-making well into 2017. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Let's get out of the snow and cold and let's go to Cabo San Lucas. Escape to Los Cabos with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. We're heading to Los Cabos, Mexico, April 2nd through April 9th. That's Saturday to Saturday. Our trip is presented by Dermatology and Plastic Surgery Associates. I'm going to have a plastic surgery seminar, and Dan's going to have a flat tack seminar by the pool. We'll be staying at the Secrets Puerto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort. It's an all-inclusive, adults-only, all-suites resorts that opened in December of 2013. It has 8 restaurants, 4 bars. It's just a top-notch resort. It has 2 beautiful, sparkling pools, access to 3 miles of pristine beaches. And adjacent to the resort, if you're a golfer, you'll love this, 2 9-hole courses designed by Jack Nicklaus and Greg Norman. So join us in Cabo. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com. Keyword escape. Now, the price that our friends at Apple Vacations have secured for us is incredible and exclusive only to us. The last day to purchase this trip at this special price is January 29th. After that, the price will go up and space will be very limited. So visit 560theanswer.com, keyword escape, book your trip today. And guess what? If you download the AM 560 The Answer mobile app, you can register for a chance to win 2 all expense paid trip to Secrets Los Cabos. Click on the Enter to Win banner to register. That contest ends January 29th at 9 a.m.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a pre-existing condition, a canceled plan, or
your premium increased, now's the time to get covered. 2016 open enrollment begins on November 1st and ends on January 31st. During this 90-day window, you cannot be denied coverage. Depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. The new healthcare law is very complicated and you do need guidance. It costs you nothing to use a broker, so why not tap into my expertise?
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, Bernie's got a new bus. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. It's rolling its way through Iowa, and it allows him to, move around more freely.
To walk around, these comfortable seats. But the purpose of this bus is just to help us get around your beautiful state, and that's what we're going to do.
You have to use exact change only on the bus. I don't want anything more than a dollar, less than $1 bill. It all has to be change, individual contributions to get on my bus.
Okay, so Hillary Clinton, I woke up this morning. I get her email blasts. Excuse me. And she has admitted, quote in this email, there's a real possibility we could lose the contest in Iowa and in New Hampshire. And Bernie Sanders like, I told you so.
That inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable.
Our inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable. The new polls this morning for CNN poll, Bernie Sanders up double digits, up 27 points on Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire.
Well, the Democrats are going to go crazy, and they're going to have to draft Joe Biden to run, which means he's going to have to become the president and cure cancer in the next year. That's a tall order.
But just keep in mind, back in 2008, polls showed Barack Obama with a double-digit lead over Hillary in New Hampshire, and we all know what happened there.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you ready to take your education to the next level? Arizona State University now offers over 90 top-tier degree programs, 100% online. With ASU's highly ranked online programs, you'll earn the same degree as our on-campus students, with the ability to learn wherever you want, whenever you want. Same world-renowned faculty, same leading education, same global recognition from one of the top universities in the world. Call 1-800-581-5369. That's 1-800-581-5369.
I'm Jamie from Sherman Oaks, and I just graduated with my degree from Arizona State University. I chose ASU because I received the quality education I deserve in the major I wanted, all from my home.
Jamie's not the only one to earn a degree from ASU. There are over 90 degree programs offered 100% online from one of the top universities. Now's the time to learn more about earning your degree online from Arizona State University. Call 1-800-581-5369. That's 1-800-581-5369.
Turnkey IT is a name you've come to know and trust on AM 560. Turnkey IT provides small businesses with IT resources that are normally reserved for Fortune 500 companies. They provide world-class network installations and ongoing IT support for fixed monthly rates based on the size of your network. In fact, Turnkey IT has a program that fits the needs of your business. Turnkey IT understands that your business matters and that keeping you focused on it makes all the difference in the world. Best of all, their service can save you time and money. Turnkey IT can give you the peace of mind that backups are being executed, emails always available, files are secure, and you've got someone to call when you need help. Turnkey IT has people who are professional, friendly, on time, and a live person even answers the phone 24 hours a day. Visit turnkey.pro today for a plan that fits your needs. That's turnkey.pro.
Let's do this. Once a man reaches a certain age, they're constantly told to get routine checkups to be sure they get the most from their health. With today's resources, it's now easier than ever, instead of waiting until it's too late. Associated Urological Specialists understands that. They know you need the assurance of having the very best services available to cover your bases. They also know that no two cases are alike. Providing medical and surgical urological specialties is one thing, but clinical numbers and research are just a part of making the right decision for you personally. At Associated Urological Specialists, there's a full suite of specialists that execute full-service treatment. From diagnosis to procedures and everything else, they'll create options and mesh seamlessly into your daily routine. Let this message be the one that frees you to focus on your health now and in the future. Visit auspecialists.com today. That's auspecialists.com or call 708-608-2195. That's 708-608-2195. Over the last few months, the stock market has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride. Is there another big correction on the horizon? Are you prepared? Or are you at the mercy of stockbrokers if it does happen? Let Online Trading Academy teach you how to navigate the stock market during these changing times. They offer professional trading and investing education for every skill level. They'll teach you a rules-based strategy, trading on knowledge, not speculations, so you can identify market changes before they happen. Online Trading Academy has a state-of-the-art educational facility centrally located in Lombard. Call today, 877-OTA-CHIC. That's 877-682-2442 to attend a free half-day course. Call now and mention you heard this message on AM 560 The Answer, and they'll send you home with a free home video study course valued at $247 just for attending. This is a great opportunity to learn from the pros. Reservations are limited, so call now, 877-682-2442 or online at tradingacademy.com/Chicago.
We all want Mike Madigan gone, and we'll tell you how you can help unseat the longest-serving state speaker in American history coming up.
And a man in St. Louis robs the wrong lady.
We'll explain, but first into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Bruce and Amy, GOP lawmakers propose a CPS bankruptcy. WIND Chicago News Times, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. A message to Flint, Michigan in the middle of a water crisis.
I am sorry, and I will fix it.
Governor Rick Snyder saying he let the city down.
You deserve accountability.
And he says deserve the truth.
The truth about what we've done and what we'll do to overcome this challenge.
And the morning after his State of the State address, the Republican governor, who's faced angry protests and calls to resign, will release emails about the water situation from the past 2 years. It was a switch in Flint's water source that caused high levels of lead contamination. Could be a big sell-off on Wall Street at the opening bell. Futures are way down, nearly 300 for the Dow as markets plunge overseas on falling oil price concerns. President Obama doesn't like it, but the Senate will today consider a bill to give Iraqi and Syrian refugees more scrutiny. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says facts, not fear, should drive the debate over House-passed legislation requiring new FBI background checks and sign-offs from 3 high-ranking federal officials before any refugee from Syria or Iraq can come to the U.S.
The American people are concerned, and they're looking to us to lead with both safety and compassion.
The bill faces tough opposition in the Senate, and President Obama has pledged to veto it, saying it won't provide any meaningful additional security for Americans. Dave?
Rachel, it's a tough morning for the families of 12 Marines missing after 2 helicopters collided off Hawaii's coast last week. The search has been suspended. The Coast Guard only found 4 empty life rafts. Can Sarah Palin make a difference in Iowa?
I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Palin endorsed the Republican frontrunner last night.
He's got the guts to wear the issues that need to be spoken about and debated on his sleeve.
Trump hopes this takes votes away from Ted Cruz, who Palin backed for Senate in Texas in 2012. Ben Carson has canceled campaign events after one of the Republican candidate's volunteers died in a car crash in western Iowa. 3 other Carson volunteers were injured. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Cloudy skies, 15 degrees, still a few stray snow showers in the area. At 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan today that would allow the Chicago Public Schools to declare bankruptcy. House Leader Jim Durkin and Senate Leader Christine Radogno are scheduled to lay out that proposal during a news conference later today. A Chicago man headed to federal prison after sending bomb threats to SIU Carbondale. Derek Burns was sentenced to 2 years after pleading guilty last August. The woman selected by Mayor Rahm Emanuel to lead the effort to develop police reforms after several police shootings says the job is a tough one and requires some wide-ranging change. AM 560's David Stewart has more on the story.
Lori Lightfoot is with the police board as well as Mayor Emanuel's task force. She told the City Club the task force will quickly address use of force, training, police videos, and racial sensitivity. She says even cops who do their jobs the right way every day have a role in improving the department.
It is not enough that individual officers do their job with integrity. They cannot bear witness to misconduct by others, turn a blind eye, and believe that all is well.
She said long-term solutions to neighborhood violence also involve stopping the flow of guns and improving economic opportunities. David Stewart, Chicago.
Governor Bruce Rauner believes General Electric bypassed the state of Illinois for its new headquarters because of the trajectory of the state's fiscal problems. Rauner said that he and Mayor Rahm Emanuel tried to lure GE from Connecticut. Last week, the company announced its relocation to Boston. Rauner says the company did not want to go from one failed state to another. Chicago sports, Patrick Kane, a goal and a helper in a 4-1 Blackhawk win over Nashville. That's 12 straight wins for Coach Joe Quenneville. Men's college hoops last night. NIU now 15-3 thanks to 19 from Trayvon Baker in a 75-70 MAC win over Central Michigan. Maryland, a Big Ten win over Northwestern in overtime, 62-56, and Indiana trounced the Fighting Illini. The news, a service of Compassion International. There's a little boy or girl living in poverty right now. They don't have enough to eat or are sick or can't go to school. You can help release them from poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International at compassion.com/radio. 7:04, time to check the climate of your business with Air Comfort. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You don't win by accident.
It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
So this is your year to win. You don't get out of debt. You don't save your marriage by accident. You don't increase the quality of your marriage by accident. You don't raise great kids accidentally. These are intentional acts that you make choices on the variables in your environment and you form and control your life.
Make the most of your money and get out of debt. He's Dave Ramsey, tonight at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy is committed to helping you and your wallet stay healthy.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance saving me money on prescriptions. They can help you too.
Start saving for the things you love. Visit healthmart.com to find a locally owned Health Mart pharmacy near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a .com domain name for only $2.99 for the first year. Right now at GoDaddy.com. 2-year purchase required. Second year is $14.99.
7:06 in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens has stop-and-go traffic from Old Orchard to the junction. 49 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 21 from Montrose. 15 on the Express. Outbound 51 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, 46 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 44 to Thorndale. Northbound I-55, delays start around 126, and it's an hour and a half from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 40 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 40 to 355, and there are delays and crashes southbound at 55 from 52 to I-80. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 45 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford, 50. Northbound Tri-State, it's jammed from Dixie Highway to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Southbound Tri-State, we see big delays now from 137 around Everett. Adams Tollway slow going from 31 to 59 and from the Des Plaines Oasis to Tri-State. Reagan Tollway jammed from the Aurora Toll to Midwest. Westbound from the York Toll to Midwest. Delays on 8094 westbound are Grant to Klein. Crash in the left lane. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Cold today, cloudy this morning, then clouds and sun for the afternoon, high 22. Mostly cloudy and cold tonight with a low 10, then cloudy most of the day tomorrow with a high of 28. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
14 at O'Hare, 16 along the lake. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Bruce Wolf sitting in with us today on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560 The Answer. Brought to you by Pure Shale Financial Group.
Good morning. Welcome to to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
This just might be the kind of move that excites someone that supports Donald Trump but wasn't sure if they were going to go out and caucus on a cold night.
And there is news on the Democratic side of the race tonight, too. A surging Bernie Sanders is giving Hillary Clinton's campaign another reason to worry. A brand new poll shows that Clinton has an incredible amount of ground to make up in New Hampshire if it holds up.
That inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Wednesday morning, and thanks so much for joining us. AM 560, Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm Amy Jacobson, and in for Dan Proft is Bruce Wolf, and he's here on a very exciting day. Sarah Palin backing Donald Trump. We have more Hillary emails that have been discovered, worse than we thought it was going to be.
Top secret.
Illinois Republican lawmakers moving for a state takeover of CPS. That's breaking news this morning, and I'm getting a colonoscopy later today. Hey-oh!
You buried the lead. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had a really bad basketball game last night, and it was all my fault. One of our star players received a technical, the old T, and I didn't take her out of the game. That is sending the wrong message to all of the girls on the team that bad behavior is rewarded. So we lost the game by 2 points. Guess what the score was? This is 5th and 6th grade girls basketball.
4-2?
It was 8-6.
All right.
And Coach Amy forgot to do the full court press the last 2 minutes of the game. Yeah,
Winning.
I failed.
You had your
miserably.
mind on a colonoscopy.
No, I
Got
just
a lot on your plate. Well, nothing on your plate because you haven't eaten in the last 24 hours.
That's true.
Okay.
And now we're doing the last. What do we call this stuff? The
You're
super
drinking.
bowel cleanser right now. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't recall any. I've covered and been involved in Chicago radio for decades on end since I worked as Jack Benny's sound man in the 40s. And the thing is I don't recall anybody talking about their anticipation of having a colonoscopy that day.
Really?
On the radio. No,
Well,
I don't
I
recall.
didn't call in sick like somebody else did at this station when they got a colonoscopy because
Dennis
I'm tough.
Prager?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I can't say the person's name, but they couldn't handle it like I can. So if I run out of here at any point in time, Bruce, you're in charge, okay?
I'll be here. I'll be the Alexander Haig.
Yes, and speaking of people in charge, Mike Madigan, the longest-serving House Speaker in American history, of course, comes out of the state of Illinois because, of our stellar reputation that we have. But one man who Republicans and some Democrats are rallying around to replace him is Jason Gonzalez, who is running for Illinois State Rep seat 22nd District, and he joins us now on our Turnkey.pro answer line. Good morning, Jason. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
So have you been surprised by all the support that you're getting from Democrats, but mostly Republicans who want you to win this race?
Well, yes. I mean, in a way, I think I could anticipate a large, number of people that have been sort of silent over the years that, we're kind of afraid to come out of the shadows and say, it's time.
Well, my hero, William F. Buckley, once supported Allard Lowenstein, a Democrat, because he just liked him so much. And I think, since I'm the heir to Buckley, I
that's
may
right.
support Jason Gonzalez. The reason being, Amy, do you know about this man? And I know he's too humble to talk about himself, but he didn't graduate high school until he was 21, kind of had a rough and tumble existence before then. But since then, he's gone to Duke, MIT, and Harvard. So what happened there? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's just say it was a transformational experience. I had a number of teachers who came into my life early on in high school and, helped kind of, get me to realize my strengths and some of the things that, I was capable of doing and pointing out, I was good at this and I needed to work on that. And, it was just sort of a number of things, but mainly it was the teachers who intervened in my life and saw my potential that helped me to kind of get my life on track.
Well, how long have you lived in the district and you know who you're going up against? I mean, you could have your tires slashed easily and your family targeted by certain officers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I've lived here almost about 2 years now, and, I have ties to the district through family, and, my father owned a home in sort of the adjacent district, not too far away, and I spent a lot of my early years with my grandma, who was in the area when she was living. And, I play rugby. So, I'm trained for the rough and tumble. So, some of these people that Madigan has running around, I'm really not too afraid of.
We're talking to Jason Gonzalez, who is going to try to beat Mike Madigan. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Jason.
Hey, don't laugh.
No. I hope he wins. But you're an innovation consultant, and among other things, you founded a nonprofit organization that helped provide clean drinking water to distressed populations in developing countries. Maybe we ought to send you to Flint, Michigan. But here's the thing. You were talking about the schools and about teachers helping you and everything. Right now, right on our plate, the GOP wants to basically take over the Chicago Public Schools so that they can declare bankruptcy, restructure the teachers' union contract. What's your view on how to solve that crisis?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a complex one. I think, all the stakeholders really need to come together and hammer out a solution. It just seems like people are yelling at each other from afar. And, it'd be great if, the mayor and the governor and Karen Lewis and other stakeholders could, come to the table and act like civilized human beings and adults.
I think Governor Rauner's acting civilized. I just think Mayor Emanuel is being stubborn and won't budge.
Well, there's some of that back and forth, of course. I'd be interested to know when the last time they actually had a meeting was. I'm not blaming one person over the other, but I think that, some compromise has to be hammered out here if we're going to move the state forward and we're going to get CPS back into, solvent hands.
Now, Jason Gonzalez, he's running for the Illinois State Rep 22nd District, trying to unseat, a staple there, Mike Madigan. And I heard him, correct me if I'm wrong, that Mike Madigan is putting up 2 Hispanics so that all 3 of you split the Hispanic vote so he could keep his seat.
He would not do such a Machiavellian thing. What do you think, he's Frank Underwood?
Is that true, Jason? Have they filed the paperwork yet?
Yeah, well, it's the oldest trick in the book. I mean, the political machine likes to do this whenever they receive a challenger who just might win. They try and dilute the vote by putting 2 people in with maybe similar ethnic last names, to try and confuse people at the ballot. It's not going to, I believe, swing my election. I mean, we're running a very strong race. We're getting our name out. People are knowing who I am, and when they go to the polls, they'll know who they're going to vote for. And I witnessed the whole thing in Springfield. I was there at the State Board of Elections. I filed within, say, 13 minutes of the deadline to try and avoid Mr. Madigan putting 2 other candidates on the ballot. When I finished filing, I watched, Shaw DeKremer, one of his longtime aides, file 2 candidates. They grabbed the file box, picked up a cell phone, went into the hall, and I watched them pull, 2 nominating petitions out of the box and then, circle back in and file right behind me.
Well, that is just
Jason,
amazing to me.
Seeing as how scheming and devious and horrible Mike Madigan is, why are you still embracing Democratic Party principles?
Yeah, why aren't you running as a Republican?
Or run as a Trump-like Republican in the Democratic primary? I mean, you see what the entrenched powers have done over these generations, and we're broke, and people are moving out. And so, come on over to the dark side, the Rauner side.
Well, I appreciate the invitation, but
you make it sound so sinister, Bruce. The dark side. No, the bright side.
Sure. But you see what it is. You see what they do.
Well, and you're right. I do see what they do, and so do a lot of other people. And the real truth is we have to stand up to this kind of stuff, and we have to stand up to power. And I think I find a lot of common ground between Republicans and Democrats, particularly on term limits and redistricting reform and, getting our state solvent again and, trying to create growth and opportunity for people in Illinois. I really believe that, we really cannot get anything done with Mike Madigan in power. And it's time for a change. It's time for a changing of the guard. And it's time for some new blood in there who has new ideas, who are, committed to solving problems rather than promoting the status quo.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jason Gonzalez. And how can we find out more information from about you and donate to your campaign?
Well, you can go to my website at jasonforillinois.com, which is all spelled out. And you can learn more about me, my story, why I'm running, and, the issues I think are important.
Now we're going to have Madigan on. He's going to demand equal time.
No, he's not. You can't even find Mike Madigan. It's easier to find Osama bin Laden than Mike Madigan. All right, thank you so much, Jason Gonzalez, running to unseat Mike Madigan in the 22nd District. Thanks for your time this morning.
Hey, thanks for inviting me on.
And good luck. And he joined us on our Turnkey Pro Answer Line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Pretty nasty day weather-wise out there. The snow has stopped, I see, but it's still on the roadways.
Yeah, and today it's going to be cold, cloudy this morning, and times of clouds and sun this afternoon. High of 23 tonight, mostly cloudy and cold, a low of 11. Tomorrow, cloudy most of the time, high at 29, low tomorrow night, 14. Now, for a check of that traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Bruce and Amy. It's slow on the inbound Kennedy, now an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 23 minutes from Montrose, 18 on the Express, outbound with a crash at Cumberland, 40 minutes to Montrose, an hour and 17 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 45 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 32. The Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 44 minutes. Northbound I-55, delays start at 1:26. It's an hour and a half from 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, now looking at an hour and 15 minutes. The delays start at Damon. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound tied up from 137 to Everett. Northbound Dixie Highway all the way to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway long delays from the Aurora Toll all the way to the Eisenhower. Westbound from the York Toll to Midwest. Veterans Memorial, slow 83rd to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Some delays on southbound 53. I-80 eastbound slow Pulaski to the Tri-State. 8094 westbound for Grant to Klein with a crash. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
You did it. That's right. Because of your generosity and support of our annual Feed the Children campaign, we were able to reach our goal of feeding more than 18,000 children around Chicagoland this holiday season. Those are real families with real needs that you have helped to meet. We especially want to thank the many business benefactors who stepped up in a big way. When you hear their advertisements on this station in the coming months, we encourage you to support them as a way of saying thanks for their generosity. And just because we met our goal in 2015, that doesn't mean that the need has gone away. Hunger is still a real challenge for thousands of families and children in our area. Please continue to support Feed the Children with a tax-deductible gift of any amount at any time. Just go to feedthechildren.org. And thanks again from all of us at AM 560, The Answer.
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to refinance your existing home or purchase a new home, give me a call. Are you credit challenged and your low credit scores are prohibiting you from refinancing or purchasing a new home? Did your once excellent credit get destroyed when you lost your job when the economy hit the skids? Are you tired of living in your parents' basement? Or are you tired of having your kid live in your basement? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I have great news. I am having a contest to help you understand and enhance your credit scores. Contest winners will work with one of my professionally trained loan officers who will give you advice to enhance your credit. To register, go to am560david.com. That's am560david.com. Contest ends January 22nd, so go to am560david.com and register now. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186.
There is nothing more beautiful than a landscape that creates a memory. Strong, sturdy oaks, golden prairie grass, and stunning wildflowers delicately dancing in the wind. Restoring your grounds creates a lasting impact, both environmentally and professionally. Tallgrass Restoration uses scientifically proven, cost-effective methods to restore and preserve private, corporate, and public properties, including wetlands, woodlands, and prairies. Tallgrass Restoration enlists licensed professionals who have extensive knowledge of land to transform the beauty and ecological health of natural areas for the entire world to enjoy. Life is a journey from birth to death, but a landscape left behind of tantalizing allure and overwhelming grace lasts forever. Let Tallgrass Restoration transform your land's legacy. Visit tallgrassrestoration.com to start planning your possibilities before spring. That's tallgrassrestoration.com or call them at 1-877-699-8300.
AM 560, The Answer. Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Did you ever see the movie Dreamgirls? Do you like show tunes, Bruce?
I love show tunes, yeah.
You're like, you never saw Dreamgirls?
I think I...
With Jamie Foxx and Beyonce and Jennifer Hudson. And Jamie Foxx had won an Oscar. He's a wonderful actor. I think so. He's one of my favorite actors. Comedian. He's also an amazing pianist, an excellent singer.
And a hero.
Yes, he's a hero because late last night, he did something that a lot of Americans would not do. He saw a burning car that was flipped over on its side outside of his estate. And it's a pretty big estate. So he jumped in his car, went down to the gate, walked through the gate, and saw this kid in this burning car. He took an object, smashed the driver's side window, had scissors with him too, and cut him out of his seatbelt, lifted him out of the burning car, and dragged the kid 30 yards away from the vehicle.
And then the vehicle...
No, it
didn't explode?
Well, it was on fire, and the firefighters came. You can see the video.
But he risked his life.
He
and
did.
by the way, the kid, I think, was charged with a DUI.
Okay. Well, regardless
so, he's saving somebody who put himself in jeopardy, possibly, and he's a real hero. This is no movie.
And the victims, not the victim, the person in the accident, his father met Jamie Foxx early this morning. It was really emotional.
I don't look at it as heroic. I just look at it like, you just had to do something, and it all just worked out, man. I mean, without going too far into it, it all worked out.
But that's the thing. Did he have to do something? No, he didn't have to do something. He just said he's not a hero. He's just a father like this man, and he wanted to help out.
He's a hero.
He looked at him and said, you know what? I bet this kid has a mom or a dad. I think he's a hero.
He absolutely is a hero.
And of course,
David Bowie is singing to him right now in heaven.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then you brought something to my attention about the Supreme Court justices.
Judge Judy.
She's not
Cary Grant.
But she's not a Supreme Court justice.
Well, according to a survey,
yes.
10% of college students or college graduates think Judge Judy is on the Supreme Court.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. According to this, nearly 10% of college grads surveyed in a poll believe Judith Scheindlin. I didn't know her last name. I thought her name was Judith Sotomayor. So maybe she is on the Supreme Court. Serves on the Supreme Court. And, Judge Judy, very fair to the extent I've seen her on her show on Channel 2, I think.
You know what?
So maybe she should be on the Supreme Court.
That story reminds me when I
Judge Reinhold should also be on the Supreme Court.
When I worked in Detroit, we were going out and visiting the kiddies on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we went to different community centers, not in schools, and they put a picture up of Martin Luther King Jr. And the teacher asked, "So kids, does anybody know who that is?" And one kid raised his hand. "Oh, I know." She's like, "Yeah," and he said, "That's Judge Joe Brown."
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. If you have a pre-existing condition, a canceled plan, or your premium increased, now's the time to get covered. 2016 open enrollment begins on November 1st and ends on January 31st. During this 90-day window, you cannot be denied coverage. Depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. The new healthcare law is very complicated and you do need guidance. It costs you nothing to use a broker, so why not tap into my expertise?
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Get out and have some fun. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com for a fun night on the town. Grab your sweet Caroline and make a date to listen to your favorite music. Direct from Branson is Denny Diamond and the Jewels, featuring the music of Neil Diamond. Normally $76 for lunch and a show for two. It's only $39 on ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Or head downtown for some laughs. $22 will get you a pair of tickets to Comedy Sports Chicago, which is a unique blend of fast and funny improv comedy that's appropriate for all ages. This Laugh Out Loud show features two improv teams that play games on stage with a referee, and the audience is in on the fun. Or hit the waves and take advantage of the Sea Dog Extreme Thrill Ride or Lakefront Speedboat Cruise. A lake and architectural tour awaits you as well.
Let's go today because it's really warm out.
It's very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take the polar plunge today. Why don't we do that? All from Entertainment Cruise Lines. Want to get out of town? Escape to Wisconsin. Purchase an overnight stay at the Schuster Mansion in Milwaukee. Check in every week for fun and adventure with your family and friends at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, join Dan Proft for Speak Out Illinois. It's a pro-life conference taking place Saturday, January 30th at the Chicago Marriott in Oak Brook. Meet with a coalition of pro-life and pro-family groups from across the state as you learn, network, and pray together for an end to abortion. For more information and to buy tickets, visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword life. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Chief Economist at the Heritage Foundation, Stephen Moore, will be here. And my favorite story, and Bruce's favorite story that we've been waiting days to tell you. A man in St. Louis, he messed with the wrong lady. We'll explain. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good Wednesday morning to our good friend, Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. We have 15 degrees, at least 21. All of them students are dead after a gunman stormed a university in Pakistan. Pakistani Taliban is claiming responsibility for today's bloodshed. 60 others were hurt. CNN will host a town hall for Democrat presidential candidates next Monday in Iowa, 1 week before the early voting contest in the Hawkeye State. The candidates will take questions from voters at Drake University in Des Moines. One day after picking up a major Iowa endorsement, Donald Trump says he's honored to have Sarah Palin's help.
We've known each other for a long time. I've always liked her a lot and respected her a lot. And she called and she sees what's happening with the campaign. She sees what we're saying, what I'm saying, and she sees it's really become like a movement.
Republican presidential frontrunner Trump telling NBC's Today Show everyone's been trying to get an endorsement from Palin. Meantime, Iowa Governor Terry Branstad calling for GOP presidential candidate Ted Cruz to be defeated.
I believe that would be a big mistake for Iowa to support him. And I know he's ahead in the polls, but the only poll that counts is the one they take on caucus night. And I think it could change between now and then.
Branstad called out the Texas senator because he opposes renewable fuels. Depending on where you are, you could see stepped-up security at schools today after bomb threats were phoned into dozens of schools in at least 8 states. Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan that would allow the Chicago Public Schools to declare bankruptcy. House Leader Jim Durkin, Senate Leader Christine Radogno are scheduled to lay out that proposal during a news conference today. Mayor Emanuel brushes back efforts by the owners of the Chicago Cubs to shut down all the streets around the ballpark on game days. Emanuel spokeswoman Kelly Quinn says they're not going to close Clark and Addison. Cubs business president Crane Kenny suggested the idea as a way to enhance security around the park. And although the biggest Star Wars collector in recent memory will not be in on the auction, that would be Jesse Jackson Jr., Luke Skywalker's blaster from The Empire Strikes Back is being auctioned off. The weapon still has an original flash suppressor and scope. The auction listing says it's an original 1980 filming condition, and your bidding begins at $200,000. Chicago sports, NHL, Patrick Kane a goal and a helper in the Blackhawk win over Nashville 4-1. That's 12 straight wins. College hoops, Maryland topped Northwestern in Big Ten play, 62-56 in overtime. Indiana shellacked Illinois. And in the MAC, Northern Illinois over Central Michigan, 75-70. NIU now 15-3. The news, a service of WesternUnion.com's mobile app. You might be stuck in traffic, but your money shouldn't be, so Send money around the world 24/7 with the Western Union mobile app. Download the app, send money fast. Next time you need to send money quickly, get out of a jam, and tap the Western Union app. It's money. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes the president's agenda is easy to see.
The biggest clue as to what's in his heart is when he says too many people are killed by guns in America. And his first example, suicides. Well, I don't know how he proposes to stop suicidal people from shooting themselves, except to take their guns away from them. That's what he wants to do.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cornerstone National Bank believes trust, service, and relationship is the foundation of a business banking partnership. Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company, where you belong. Visit cornerstonenb.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, Pete, 20 more pallets backing up right now. Come over here with the forklift. Don't bring them in here, man. We've got no place to put them, and we're officially out of room, buddy.
JRC Warehousing.
Well, we're getting 20 pallets dumped right here whether we like it or not. Well, unless they get stored in your living room, I don't know what to tell you.
JRC Warehousing.
It says right here in our inventory system that we have room for 50. And you're going to trust the control system that's older than my great-grandparents?
JRC Warehousing.
We can't be the only place that's run a storage room before, man. Think. Yeah, how about I go buy one of those magic wands for you? Good luck.
JRC Warehousing offers complete solutions for your warehouse and trucking demands. No magic wands needed. Trucking requirements? No problem. Warehouse storage? No problem. Pull a rabbit out of your hat by calling JRC Warehousing for a no-obligation needs analysis and quote. 847-329-5030. That's 847-329-5030. Or visit jrcwarehousing.com.
7:34. Let's get an update on the roads in our ChicagoRadioDeals.com traffic center with the latest. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Mike Metra says trains are stopped on the Southwest Service Line after a collision involving a car at 87th and Pulaski. I-80 eastbound jammed central to I-57 where the interstate is shut down on the eastbound side after a collision involving a police vehicle and the bridge support. Then it's slow from Pulaski to the Tri-State. Eden's inbound. 51 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 35. The Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 35 minutes from Montrose. 28 in the Express outbound. An hour and 22 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 6 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop outbound 49 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 34 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound an hour 20. The Ryan, 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, tied up from 137 to Everett. Northbound slow Dixie Highway all the way to 31st, and from the Reagan tollway to North Avenue. The other tollways are very heavy as well. Traffic, service of the Foundation for a Better Life. Mr. Rogers passed along Friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cloudy and cold this morning. Snow beginning to taper off, and then some sun breaks out later this afternoon. We'll top out at 23. Cloudy and cold, 11 overnight. Clouds most of the day tomorrow, a high of 29, and flurries again on Friday with a high of 31. Currently 14 at O'Hare, 16 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee. Period.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
That music means it's Wednesday. It's time for Steve Moore. And whoa, do we have a lot of questions for him about the volatile market and plunging gas prices. Hi, Stephen Moore. How are you?
Hi, good morning, guys.
So what do we make of these plunging oil prices, and how is it going to affect the economy? Because I thought of you yet again when a barrel of oil dropped to $29.30. Unbelievable.
Wow.
It is, especially when you consider, Amy, that just about a little over a year ago, it was $100 a barrel. So that's, a 60 or so, 70% decline in the oil price. Well, it's fabulous for consumers, right? I mean, you don't see too many people complaining at the gas pump these days. I was in Charleston last week for the big Republican debate, and I paid $1.54 a gallon for gas, which was amazing. I think it's been at least a decade since I've paid that. So it's really good news for consumers. It's very good news for, by the way, the average consumer, the average family saved about $750 over the last 12 months on gas at the pump. So that's a big stimulus to the American economy, and it's like a tax cut for the American consumer. It's good for manufacturers. It's good for the transportation industry. It's been good for high tech. Anybody who uses oil, it's a big bonus. It's really hurting the oil industry, though. I mean, you look at what's happening now in Houston, you look at what's happening in North Dakota, you look at what's happening in Oklahoma. Those states are really getting wrecked, and we're not drilling nearly as much as we used to because the price is so low. So we got to sort all this out. I think in the long run, low oil price is a very, very positive thing. For right now, it's actually doing so much damage to the oil industry that's having a negative effect on the stock market.
But then you look at airlines. So I read an article yesterday that's saying Delta Airlines is going to save billions of dollars in gas prices. When are they going to pass that savings on to us, the consumers?
It's $48 to Phoenix.
Great question. That is a great question because I'm flying all the time. I'm on the road 2 or 3 days a week, and I haven't seen much of a reduction. And remember when the prices went up? This was a couple of years ago, and they had the where they got fuel surcharge. Remember that? $50 a ticket for the higher fuel costs. Now they've come down. I don't think those airlines ever even got rid of the fuel surcharge. So that's it. But I think eventually they will. But they haven't come down much, and they should.
Well, we'll have to, arrest some of the airline leaders for obscene profits and gouging.
It's price gouging.
Stephen, look, 300,000.
Hold on the subject of gouging, though. That's an interesting point. When the price was high, of oil, all the people in Congress are saying, they held hearings, and the oil industry is a cartel, and they're holding, artificially holding up the price of gasoline, and we've got to break these people up, and so on. You don't see too many people, talking about the oil industry now that the price is down $30 a barrel. So, they complain when the price is going up, but they don't pat the oil industry on the back when the price comes way, way down.
Stephen, would you please explain David Ricardo's theory of comparative advantage and relate it to Donald Trump's desire to put a 45% tariff on Chinese imports? Please tell us.
Boy, this is good. This is highfalutin stuff. We're talking about David Ricardo's comparative advantage. This is the idea that we buy stuff from the person who can produce it at the cheapest amount. And when you talk about all the things that come in from China, it's a lot of toys. It's a lot of the stuff that you buy at Walmart. And by the way, who are the people who tend to shop at Walmart? It's not it's not Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. It's middle income and lower income people. One of the points I made at Fox yesterday about this was that, look, if you put a big tariff on these products, it's almost like a consumption tax, like a sales tax. So it's going to be a regressive tax paid by poor people. So I think it's a dumb idea. By the way, the way to deal with this issue of China and Mexico, Trump says that they're eating our lunch. You know how you deal with this, guys? You cut the corporate income tax. You bring the tax rate down in the United States so that businesses want to come back to the United States. I mean, one of the reasons we're exporting some of these jobs, we've got the highest business tax in the world. Cut the tax rate, and they'll come back, and we'll create jobs in America, and we'll eat the lunch of China and Mexico.
Bernie Sanders in the debate the other night was talking about this wonderful expansion of health care that he's going to come up with, and then people were doing the computations and said, basically going to have to increase the federal budget by about 55%.
Yeah, just
and
a minor
it's going to cost
detail.
about $20 trillion, whatever. Stephen, your comments on Bernie Sanders' health care proposal.
First of all, I want to do a little confession to you guys. I did not watch the Democratic debate.
Didn't miss anything. It was Sunday night. The last time you watched NBC on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock was Bonanza. I get it.
I don't think anybody did. I was in Charleston for the Republican debate, but I did hear that he talked about this idea of health care for everyone. He wants to make Medicare available for everyone. And the way I think of it is, at least he's an honest liberal. He wants to socialize the health care system. He wants to have the government run it. And look, I think most liberals do. I think Barack Obama wants that. I think Hillary Clinton wants it. They just won't admit it. So. He just wants to go all the way with this. And, the amazing thing that's happening politically in this country is Bernie has surged in front of Hillary in New Hampshire, and he may defeat her in Iowa. And if that happens, ladies and gentlemen,
he's not going to win the South. That's her firewall. It's not going to happen.
No. He was in Alabama last night. He had thousands of people there.
I mean, he is the hot ticket now on the Democratic side. I mean, a socialist. I mean, that tells you a lot about the modern day.
I understand him attracting the young people and the college students, which, in Iowa, Hillary fears that they're going to vote for Bernie Sanders because everybody wants free college. Everyone wants a free education. But what is going on? I mean, somebody else stealing Hillary's dream.
It's for Hillary, first of all, it's deja vu all over again. I mean, this is exactly what happened to her in 2008. This poor woman, every time she's going to be coronated the Democratic nominee, someone steals it away. Now, look, I'm going to say this loud and clear. Bernie Sanders will not be the Democratic nominee. There is no way. If Hillary Clinton falters, and by the way, these new allegations that came out yesterday that some of these emails were highly classified, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to a possible indictment of Hillary by the FBI. If that happens, oh my gosh, there's going to be total chaos.
You know what's going to happen? Joe Biden is going to have to cure cancer and become the president in 1 year. That's going to be that's a tall order.
Then you get Joe Biden in. I'm going to throw out a couple of other names for you, though.
Okay, Martin O'Malley, he's at 1% right now.
Yeah, it could rise all the way to 2 or 3%. No, it's not going to be O'Malley either.
How about Donald Trump as the Democratic and Republican candidate?
He can run from both parties.
It's going to be Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren on the ticket.
Elizabeth Warren, yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think Elizabeth Warren gets in the race, and then there's a real whispering campaign going on about governor, the state of California, Jerry Brown. He's back. How old is Jerry Brown? In his late 70s or something like that?
This is his second go-round. I mean, this is ridiculous. Jerry Brown, because he's really done well for California. There's no question about that.
And Jerry Brown's going to run on the flat tax.
Hey, Stephen, 300,000 jobs created last month. Everything's coming up roses. I'm reading a chart from Rehan Salam. Yeah. He tweeted this morning. Real GDP per capita. And it goes from 2005 to 2014. And the line for the United States, it's up. It's moved up since 2009. It's not as good as Australia, or New Zealand or whatever. But it's fine. You doomsayers, you conservatives like me and you and Amy some of the time. What are we talking about? Everything's great.
Yeah,
did you see the State of the Union, or were you not watching that either?
It's a great point. I mean, first of all, real GDP per capita includes everyone. It's not here since we're doing highfalutin today. All right, here's a little math lesson for you. Okay. There's a difference between the average and the median, right?
And the most.
So the average includes all the billionaires and millionaires, the Donald Trumps and the Bill Gates and the Warren Buffetts and so on. If you look at median GDP, or median income, that has been a flat line.
You just made my argument for me, Stephen. That's why we got to take the money from the billionaires.
Yes.
Do you realize, Stephen, that there are 62 billionaires throughout the world that have as much money as the bottom half of the 3.5 billion people in the world? Do you realize that, Stephen?
Amy.
I went to my happy place.
How did Bernie Sanders get in your booth today? But this class warfare theme is what Bernie Sanders is all about. And by the way, what he says is, and this is why we have to raise tax rates to 70, 80, 90%. Take the money away from them. This is going to be a race about whether we adopt Robin Hood as an economic strategy. Steal from the rich, give to the poor. That'll grow the economy.
Who knew? Right. If you're a political junkie, your head is spinning with happiness right now. Oh, Stephen Moore, thank you so much for making this part of your day, for joining us. We'll see you back here next week.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Bernie.
Yeah, study your David Ricardo, okay?
See you guys. Bye.
Stephen Moore, Chief Economist at the Heritage Foundation, joining us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's like a winter wonderland out there, but it's pretty cold and it's pretty slick.
Today it's going to be cold, cloudy this morning, then times of clouds and sun this afternoon. A high of 23 tonight, mostly cloudy and cold, a low of 11 tomorrow. Cloudy most of the time, high of 29, low tomorrow night of 14. Now with the check of traffic, here's Jim Tellem update.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Bernie and Bruce. And Amy, good morning. Metra Southwest service trains are stopped in both directions near 87th and Pulaski after a collision. Eastbound I-80 is closed at I-57 due to a crash. The big delays start at Central Avenue. Eden's 51 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 35. The Kennedy, an hour and 10 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour 22. The Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound it's now an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 54 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound, an hour and 38 minutes to 3:55. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, Brutal, Lakeshore Drive has the usual delays. Tri-State southbound, stop and go 132 to 120. Northbound, it's slow most of the way from Dixie Highway to 31st, and it's slow, very slow, from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. There are big delays on the other tollways, too. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Gosh, let's get out of the cold and the snow and the crazy winter of Chicago and escape to Los Cabos, Mexico. Bruce, have you ever been to Los Cabos?
No, but I know of it.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's similar to the Arizona desert with the Sonoran, the cactus.
So is that in western
meets
Mexico?
Meets the ocean, where the Sea of Cortez meets the Pacific Ocean. It is absolutely a gorgeous place. And we're going to be staying at the best hotel in Los Cabos, Mexico, the Secret Puerto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort. All-inclusive, adults only, all-suites resort. It's brand new. It opened pretty much in December of 2013. It has 8 restaurants, 4 bars. I love the dancing. Do not have to wear a silly wristband.
I'm a flamenco dancer.
And adjacent to the golf course, or to the resort, are 2 9-hole golf courses designed by Jack Nicklaus and Greg Norman. So join us in Cabo. Get more information and book your trip today by visiting 560theanswer.com. Our great friends over there at Apple Vacations have secured a trip that is incredible and exclusive only to us, so don't miss out. The price includes airfare. All you have to do is get your little behind over to the O'Hare Airport. That's all you have to do, because everything else is on us. 560theanswer.com, keyword escape, and to register to win a trip for 2 to Cabo, just download the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Click on the Enter to Win banner, and good luck. We will see you in Mexico.
Here's Dr. Howard, formulator of Balance of Nature, an all-natural, 100% organic fruit and vegetable supplement.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Get real today with Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Call toll-free 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to enter promo code CHICAGO.
Dan Proft with an upstream idea, brought to you in part by the Illinois Policy Institute. 97. That's the percentage of Chicago Teachers Union members who voted yes in a recent mock vote. Yes, they voted. They are prepared to go out on strike for the second time in 4 years. The annual average CPS teacher salary is just under $80,000. And that's before you include their health insurance benefits and guaranteed 7-figure pensions. The bankrupt, junk-rated Chicago public schools spend more than $15,000 annually per pupil, and yet 75% of 4th and 8th graders are neither proficient in reading nor math. This in a system of nearly 400,000 students. So who's the bad guy here? Is it the teachers union or the mayor's office? Yes, there are no white hats in the story of central planners from City Hall fighting with the central planners from the teachers union over who gets to be the lead central planner at CPS. If the teachers strike, they deserve to be unlocked from their jobs. CPS students deserve access to schools that will give them the opportunity to earn an education that sets them on a course for success in life. The only way that happens is if the adults inside CPS, the parents, and the adults outside CPS, state political leaders, change the flow of money away from central planners and to families so that they may make the same choices for their children that Tiny Dancer did for his kids matriculating at the University of Chicago Lab School. For more ideas like this, visit upstream-ideas.com. I'm Dan Proft.
AM 560, The Answer.
I guess this is when we start talking, huh? Hello, and welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer with Amy Jacobson and Bruce Wolf.
Hi.
Sitting in for Dan Proft. I've been holding on to this story, waiting for you to come back so we can play this story.
Thank you.
It's a remarkable story about resilience and perseverance. And it's a Second Amendment spotlight. There is a store owner in St. Louis, Missouri. Her name is Sony Manafoni. And I know that I completely butchered her name.
That sounds like the name game. Sony, Boboni, Manafoni. Yeah.
Me, my, momoni, Sony. So she owns Asian World Market with her husband. She's 63 years old. And the other day, she was robbed at gunpoint.
20-cent candy. He pulled a 25-cent out and with gun with me. After that, he turned around gun to my husband.
So let me tell you what happened. He came in.
This is a foreign film, and you're going to translate for me right now.
He came in.
Do you know Mandarin, actually?
Cantonese. But anywho.
Okay. Well, I could go for some Chinese right now.
Oh, stop it.
30 minutes later, I'll be hungry again. But
yes, there you go. So he went into the store and he bought something for 30 cents, and then he pulled a gun on her and on her husband.
He fired shots.
Oh, yeah. He fired 4 rounds at her and her husband. And guess what,
How old is this woman?
She's 63 years old, and she fought back.
Ow! I shoot him right away. I swear to God, I don't want to kill people. I'm too old enough, but I have to protect myself and protect my husband.
And
what did she do? Take out an AR-15 or something?
She had
a bazooka?
She had a 9mm.
All right.
And she's lucky. If you see this video, the bullet was inches away from her head.
Sometimes I cry at home. I say, why they have to do it with us? I don't make too much money now because it's slow,
Yeah, the business is slow right now, and they're in a non-desirable neighborhood in South St. Louis, and she hopes that this isn't the end of her store.
I tell you the truth, honey. I don't care. I have life insurance for my husband. That's okay. I go. I don't care. I swear to God.
And the suspect is still on the loose.
And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Do you want your kids to be forced to learn about creationism in school or environmentalism? That the Founding Fathers were really villains? Whole language instead of phonics? The new fuzzy math? No. So why on earth are we giving the government a monopoly on what we teach our kids? We get wary when we see the government taking control of our healthcare choices. But what about the government controlling our values and ideals in public schools? Individuals should be free to choose a school that best represents their convictions, ideas, and values. For more on the crucial need for freedom in education, visit ARIradio.com. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Ron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brooks Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ARIradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Everywhere you go, the threat looms. It follows you no matter what you do. The longer you avoid the IRS and the financial difficulties you're going through, the closer they get to you. John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm can help you end the feeling of being hunted by the IRS. If you've avoided taxes or could benefit from the life-saving assistance of bankruptcy, it's time you call John DeWatt. This is an attorney who is willing to take on the federal government on your behalf. He has worked to discharge thousands of dollars in penalties, and he can help you settle your debts once and for all. Call 888-777-4193. Let the hunters become the hunted. Let John DeWatt of Thinking Outside the Box Law Firm deal with the IRS personally. Call John for your own relief plan. 888-777-4193 or online at thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com. That's thinkingoutsidetheboxlaw.com.
One of the first things you do when you know friends and family are coming over is panic. You need to clean up because your guests will remember if your home isn't tidy. So when it comes to your office space, the same holds true. You don't want your clients and customers to remember you for the wrong reasons. But who has the energy to maintain that great impression? Image One does. Image One is the difference maker when it comes to making that positive and lasting impression. The Image One team are your trained and certified cleaning impression experts for retail establishments, office and office buildings, schools, healthcare facilities, auto dealerships, and manufacturing. Image One is upgrading impressions all over Chicagoland. Call now for your impression evaluation with Image One, 630-616-1010. That's 630-616-1010 or online at imageonechicago.com. As the saying goes, you only get one chance to make that first impression. Make sure your impression is an Image One impression. Image One, 630-616-1010. Franchise opportunities are available. imageonechicago.com.
This is an announcement for all people who want to take a risk-free challenge to whiten their teeth in 5 minutes using clinically proven power swabs. This risk-free challenge is for people whose smile has been yellowed by coffee, tea, or smoking. It's so effective, we challenge you to try it for 5 minutes to see how white your smile could be. If lines are busy, try again. Dial 1-800-663-1490. That's 1-800-663-1490. 1-800-663-1490.
Big Metro delays at 87th and Pulaski. Will tell you why. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. A crowd's gathering in Norwalk, Iowa for a Donald Trump rally the morning after Sarah Palin's endorsements.
He is beholden to no one but we, the people.
Could that support put Palin in a President Trump cabinet?
Well, it would be something I would certainly think about. We never even discussed it. She was just happy to endorse. You know, she views it as a movement.
He again called Republican rival Ted Cruz a nasty guy. Cruz has been questioning Trump's values and past liberal views. As Bernie Sanders keeps rising in the Democratic polls, there's a new report on Hillary Clinton's private emailing while Secretary of State.
The intelligence community's senior watchdog notified congressional oversight committees on January 14th that the Clinton emails contained intelligence beyond top secret, which means her email problem is much worse than previously reported.
Fox's Catherine Herridge, Clinton's spokesman, says no emails were labeled classified at the time, and it's a leak designed to damage her campaign. A discovery at the hideout of a recaptured Mexican drug lord is linked to an old Washington scandal. Fox's Evan Brown has more live.
And Dave, law enforcement combing through the Mexican hideout of cartel king Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo, say they found a .50 caliber rifle once used as bait during the so-called Fast and Furious operation when U.S. undercover agents sold weapons to criminals hoping to track their movements. El Chapo would have guards use the .50 cal against law enforcement aircraft surveilling them. That ATF operation had been widely criticized as weapons ended up being used in violent crimes, including the murder of U.S. Border Patrol agent Brian Terry, Dave.
Evan, Michigan's governor, tells the people of Flint,
I'm sorry most of all that I let you down. You deserve better.
Rick Snyder vows to fix their much-protested water emergency.
Flint lives matter!
Some have sued. Others want Snyder to resign for switching Flint's supply source, contaminating the water with high levels of lead. Stocks could plummet once again at the opening bell in a half hour. Futures are way down as oil prices drop further, sending markets plunging overseas. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Clouds and snow showers, 16 degrees. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A man is dead, struck by a van on the Edens Expressway near Wilmette. Police say the victim was killed early this morning trying to run across I-94 near Skokie Boulevard. He had jumped out of a vehicle he was riding in that had run out of gas. Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan that would allow the Chicago public schools to declare bankruptcy. House Leader Jim Durkin and Senate Leader Christine Radogno scheduled to lay out that proposal during a news conference later today. The woman picked by Mayor Emanuel to lead the effort to develop police reform after several police shootings says the job's a tough one and will require wide-ranging change, described by our AM 560's David Stewart.
Lori Lightfoot is with the police board as well as Mayor Emanuel's task force. She told the City Club the task force will quickly address use of force, training, police videos, and racial sensitivity. She says even cops who do their jobs the right way every day have a role in improving the department.
It is not enough that individual officers do their job with integrity. They cannot bear witness to misconduct by others, turn a blind eye, and believe that all is well.
She said long-term solutions to neighborhood violence also involve stopping the flow of guns and improving economic opportunities. David Stewart, Chicago.
Police in Woodstock confirmed that a missing 16-year-old girl has died in what looks like a murder-suicide in Phoenix, Arizona. Faith Keys was reported missing last week amid fears she had left the area willingly with 24-year-old Alexander O'Neill described as a family friend. Chicago sports, Patrick Kane, a goal and a helper in a 4-1 Blackhawk win over Nashville, the team's 12th straight. College hoops, Maryland in the Big Ten took overtime to beat Northwestern 62-56. Indiana wiped out Illinois 103-69. NIU now 15-3. Our Huskies beat Central Michigan last night 75-70. The news, a service of WesternUnion.com's mobile app. You might be stuck. Your money shouldn't be. Send money around the world 24/7 with the Western Union mobile app. Download the app. Send money fast. The next time you need to send money quickly, get out of a jam, tap the Western Union app. It's money. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Turnkey.pro. From the Fox Business Network, here's Lillian Wu.
From the Fox Business Network, Dow futures in the red as Wall Street looks ready to follow global markets south. Benchmark indexes in Germany, France, and Britain all down around 3%, while in Asia, Japan's Nikkei and Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell almost 4%. One worry for the market, the continuing fall in oil prices. Another concern is the IMF's decision to downgrade its growth forecast for the world economy. Sidecar is hitching a ride with General Motors. The automaker is buying the defunct ride-hailing company for an undisclosed amount. And a vote of confidence for Chipotle, with shares hard hit by foodborne illness problems. Fidelity's Contrafund, the chain's biggest mutual fund investor, saying they are holding steady their investment, based in part on management's focus on productivity, and investors getting a look at the latest inflation numbers in today's Consumer Price Report. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
8:05 in Chicago, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The weather in Chicago is cold. The weather in Los Cabos, Mexico is warm and sunny. AM 560 wants to send you to Los Cabos with Dan and Amy this April. Enter to win an all-expenses-paid trip to Secrets Porto Los Cabos Golf and Spa Resort, courtesy of Apple Vacations. The only way to enter to win is through the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. So download the mobile app today and enter to win a trip to Los Cabos.
Your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy is committed to helping you and your wallet stay healthy.
As a retired teacher, I look for ways to save money for the things I love, like traveling the world. Medicare plans change each year. Fortunately, my Health Mart pharmacist helped me understand my insurance saving me money on prescriptions. They can help you too.
Start saving for the things you love. Visit healthmart.com to find a locally owned Health Mart pharmacy near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
At GoDaddy, a domain name is the beginning of something awesome. Use it to create a website to promote your business. Open an online store to sell your products. Start a blog. Build your brand. You can even connect your domain to your LinkedIn or Facebook page. And GoDaddy customer support is always ready to help. What will you do with your domain name? Get a .com domain name for only $2.99 for the first year. Right now at GoDaddy.com. 2-year purchase required. Second year is $14.99.
8:06 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Let's get the latest on the roads with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Metro Southwest service trains are stopped right now due to a collision involving a train and a car at 87th and Pulaski. Eastbound I-80 is just a mess from LaGrange Road to I-57. 2 left lanes are blocked with a crash. The Edens runs 46 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 39 to Kennedy. An hour and a half from O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour 27. The Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound it's an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 48 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's once you get to 355. Delays start at US 30, and outbound it's an hour and 38 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 15. Lakeshore Drive, usual delays, southbound Bryn Mawr, Fullerton, northbound 18th to Jackson. Tri-State southbound, slow 132 to 120. Northbound stop and go from the Thornton Quarry most of the way to 31st Street, then from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Adams Tollway slow from the Elgin Toll to Beverly, Des Plaines Oasis to Tri-State Reagan Tollway. It is stop and go pretty much all the way from Orchard to York. There are some westbound delays too. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Air Comfort, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds today with some sun for the afternoon, high 22. Mostly cloudy night, low 10. Cloudy most of the day tomorrow with a high 28 and a mostly cloudy night, low 16. Mainly cloudy Friday with a couple of flurries during the day, high 31. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
14 at O'Hare, 16 and snow along Chicago's lakefront. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in today on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Wednesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
This just might be the kind of move that excites someone that supports Donald Trump but wasn't sure if they were going to go out and caucus on a cold night.
And there is news on the Democratic side of the race tonight, too. A surging Bernie Sanders is giving Hillary Clinton's campaign another reason to worry. A brand new poll shows that Clinton has an incredible amount of ground to make up in New Hampshire if it holds up.
That inevitable candidate ain't so inevitable.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning and welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. I'm Amy Jacobson, and in for Dan Proft, if you haven't heard yet, is the one and only Bruce Wolf, who's been more than kind to me this morning, and I really appreciate it. Now I'm wearing your down coat it's really heavy and it's really thick.
Why are you wearing my coat? He asked.
Yes, because I'm freezing. Because
you should wear more than a bikini top to the studio, Amy.
Thank you. Now, yes.
Little theater of the mind.
Yes, thank you.
No, you're actually lost a lot of body heat.
Yes, I have. Yeah. So thank you very much for helping me out. Some breaking news this morning. The GOP, our Illinois Republican lawmakers, are making a move, and they're going to announce it later today, to take over CPS. So basically what that means is they're going to try to pass legislation that will allow an emergency oversight board appointed by the state to take over CPS, and it would also allow CPS to then finally declare bankruptcy. Illinois State Republican leader Christine Radogno and Illinois House Minority Leader Jim Durkin are planning to hold that news conference, and of course, we'll have all the juicy details for you. Joe Walsh will later in the day, and of course, again here tomorrow morning.
It's revolutionary. I mean, basically, Rahm Emanuel should resign because the state wants to take over everything.
They do. But he said he is 100% opposed to it, speaking through his mouthpiece of CPS CEO Forrest Claypool.
Of course he's against this.
Yes, because he doesn't have control.
Rauner wants to. I mean, some people will look at it that, Rauner wants to bust the union. I only wish that he did. He certainly doesn't want to go that far, but it's a nice maneuver, and it's fun, as we continue this battle of wills. And, what do the people of Illinois want? Do they want responsible government? Do they want the books to be balanced? Or do they want everybody to flee this state? And this is part of it.
Yeah, because people are getting sick of them kicking the can down the road. It's always somebody else's problem. What might be a problem for somebody else, or it could be an asset. Donald Trump yesterday, he told us he was going to have a surprise endorsement. Well, there was a lot of surprises going on, including that blingy outfit she was wearing. Here's Sarah Palin teaming up with Donald Trump in Ames, Iowa.
How about the rest of us? Right-wing and bitter, clinging, proud clingers of our guns, our God, and our religions and our Constitution tell us that we're not red enough? Yeah, coming from the establishment, right.
Ooh,
I like her, the allusion to the Obama talk about, all those hillbillies who cling to their guns and religion, which isn't even true. You only wish that the white working class would believe in religion anymore, but it's a nice myth by the liberals. I kind of liked what she did yesterday. I think it's a smart maneuver on Trump's part, because if he wins Iowa, and that's why she was brought on board for this endorsement, he's going to win New Hampshire, and if he takes both of them, looks like he's got the nomination
got
sewn
South Carolina in the bag too.
The whole thing would have
still,
sewn
I mean, first of all, this Tea Party darling, conservative darling, she's folksy, she's informal. I've liked her in the past. I've supported her in the past, but I think she's a has-been. I really do. I don't think she's effective. In 2010, she endorsed 64 candidates, 33 of them won, and I think she's overstayed her welcome. And even the audience yesterday in Iowa, it was a tepid response when she came out and just started squawking. I don't even know what this is. What is this?
Are you ready to stump for Trump? I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
Trump looked actually a little uncomfortable.
I wonder if Diamond and Silk are jealous because, he's teaming up with Palin. But correct me if I'm wrong. I just think it's a little too late, and it's strange bedfellows. I mean, if she was going to align herself with anyone, it should be Ted Cruz. And Ted Cruz yesterday thanked her because he admitted he would not be a senator from the great state of Texas had it not been for Sarah Palin.
I love Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is fantastic. Without her friendship and support, I wouldn't be in the Senate today.
So, I mean, is she abandoning her faith to align with a more progressive Donald Trump, who's been a Democrat in the past, who has been pro-choice in the past? I mean, what is this about? Is she possibly going to be his vice presidential candidate?
No way.
Is it possible that he paid her for her endorsement?
No, not everybody is mercenary.
It's like the land of misfit toys up there.
No,
it was very uncomfortable.
Look, of course, there are contradictions, and you did mention the strange bedfellows phenomenon because, I mean, here is the vice presidential running mate of John McCain endorsing the man who ripped John McCain as not being a war hero.
Yeah, and here that is.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
And then there's the whole question of the ethanol subsidies. Sarah Palin talking about crony capitalism, which she's against, and Donald Trump comes out in favor of the ethanol subsidy. There's a lot of contradictions, but at bedrock, I'm a first principles kind of guy. I learned this from Dan Proft. And the first principle is that we need a nation that has borders. And we also need somebody to stand up to the media, which is the fourth branch of government. And Donald Trump is doing that.
I love you, but this borders thing, most of the people who are here illegally are not people that crossed over a non-existent border. They're people who are here that are overstayed their visas.
Visas are bad. I mean, that's a big problem. I mean, they're not bad. I don't want to make a blanket statement about that. But there's a problem with it.
We're going to take your calls. What was your favorite Sarah Palin cliche yesterday? Here's one of mine.
No more pussyfooting around. Our troops deserve the best. You deserve the best.
Oh, and here is how she would fight ISIS.
We're paying for some of their skirmishes that have been going on for centuries, where they're fighting each other and yelling Allah Akbar, calling jihad on each other's heads forever and ever. Like I've said before, let them duke it out and let Allah sort it out.
I like the word skirmishes that she coined. It's kind of a portmanteau. It's a combination of squeamish and skirmish. I like that.
Somebody who agrees with me is our good friend Sean from Elmwood Park. Hello, Sean.
Well, I mean, that was disheartening, but she Foster Brooks herself. Foster Brooks never drank, but yet whenever he was in front of people, he acted drunk. That's what Sarah Palin did yesterday. She's an absolute fraud in my eyes from this day forward. And I'll tell you another thing, which she forgot to mention, is that Donald Trump, in an interview during debate night with John McCain, endorsed Barack Obama and Joe Biden. He claimed what wonderful people the Clintons were, and they were clearly smart, undeniably smart. See, what we have to do, the problem that Barack Obama proved, and to a certain extent Bruce Rauner, is that misguided, stupid people elect frauds. And that's what's going to happen here. These are misguided. These are people who want to do the right thing, who support this guy, but they, for some reason, refuse to read. All you have to do is look at the past. And this other thing, I have to say one correction to Stephen Moore, aside from cleaning his glasses. But Robin Hood stole from government and gave to the people. He didn't steal from rich. It was a totalitarian king he stole from, and he gave it to the people. There is no virtue in Ho Chi Minh's socialism. There is no virtue in communism. It is force, it is intimidation, it is coercion, and it is wrong.
All right, thanks so much, Sean, for your phone call. Quickly, let's go to Joe, who joins us from Tinley Park. Good morning, Joe.
Oh, no, I'm following Sean. I'm going to sound stupid.
Would you want us to do
Joe,
a cleansing
okay.
breath? We'll do a cleansing breath for you, Joe.
Oh,
and
I've
then
got some cleansing going on around
you
here.
You certainly do. Amy, as she's been reporting all morning, is going to have, a colonoscopy a little bit later on. She actually
Sean
may have
Rhodes.
it right now. Okay, now go ahead, Joe. Now we've cleared the palate. Okay.
Sarah Palin would do better if she had a voice like Amy. She sounds like every husband's nightmare.
All right, a little catty there. But I was catty earlier, and here to call me out on that is Scott from the West Side. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Amy. Morning, Bruce.
Morning, Scott.
Yes, you were being a little catty, and it really comes through on the radio. I think that you have a little bit of jealousy regarding Sarah Palin.
No, I'm not jealous of her. I actually am proud of her. I mean, and what she has accomplished, but I just think this is a little too late. And yes, and I ripped on her outfit because she looked like a backup singer. It's for Earth, Wind, and Fire. I mean, where would she?
Well, she's from Alaska, for crying out loud. She has no fashion sense. But I also...
Thank you, Scott. You said it, not me.
Scott, you sound a little like Mr. Blackwell.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I suspect that she's going to be the vice presidential candidate with Trump.
No,
That's
Scott,
the first thing when I
no.
saw those two up there together, it's the first thing I thought. Saint, thank you so much, Scott, for the phone call. Let's go to Connie. She's on the northwest side of Chicago.
Oh, I was hoping to follow Sean because I don't feel bad about it, following him at all.
I love your chutzpah.
Oh, well, thank you. And I just want to call you out on a couple of things this morning. You have been a real witch towards Sarah. What do you care what she's wearing? I recall seeing you. You were too skinny for what you were wearing. A sleeveless, skinny strap, red low-cut dress at some function that we were at, some political function.
Yeah.
You could have worn something a lot
Connie,
better.
listen, I called myself out for being catty. I'm sorry. I lived in Iowa, and when she came up wearing that sparkly getup, I thought, what is she doing? Because she does have better fashion sense than that. Remember when she was here for TCon? She wore that sleek black leather jacket. It's gorgeous.
There's a method to their madness. These people are not stupid. They have plenty of people around them. I'm sure Ivanka is not unhappy with Sarah Palin being on the stump for her dad. These people know what they're doing. They're up to something, and let's just see what happens.
Okay, well, I think, of course, that they're trying to get the evangelicals to vote for Donald Trump instead of Ted Cruz in Iowa.
She doesn't carry that much weight
yes,
with
she does.
evangelicals
A lot
anymore.
of high-power evangelicals in Iowa love them some Sarah Palin. Let's
Sigh.
go to Holly,
Deep
who
sigh.
joins us from Hudson. Holly and Hudson, you're on.
First of all, Amy, you are a total badass. I don't know if I can say that, but to be
Just,
going through colonoscopy prep, wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Was that pun intended, Holly? Yes, go ahead.
Correct. First, and then I'd like to say, Sarah Palin peaked 8 years ago. She is such a non-entity. I thought Donald Trump was the dumbest move he could make until I started watching how it was actually an end run around Ted Cruz.
Yes.
I guess I hadn't.
Holly, the
I
whole
mean, it
point.
was actually brilliant in the long run.
Holly, the whole point is to just get him over the hump in Iowa to beat Cruz. Because if he wins in Iowa, he's going to win New Hampshire.
And he's going to win South Carolina.
That's it. It's over. It's all over. And that's what he needs Sarah Palin for, this magic moment.
And let's go to Jim real quick before we take a break and more of your phone calls. Thanks, Holly, for that. Here's Jim in Joliet.
Thanks, Amy and Bruce. Amy, you were spot on this morning. You're not catty at all. You're just observing objectively what Sarah is like these days. And she is a has-been, unfortunately, and now she's looking for a new paycheck. And Donald has a deep wallet, a thick wallet. So I think she's definitely being bought off. And it's not unfortunate what she's doing to Ted Cruz.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I mean, look at you see
no
them
money
on stage.
exchanged hands. We're
Bruce,
not. This is not
Bruce,
Blagojevich.
You're looking at two people who are reality TV stars on stage together. And
Well-
Donald Trump, you're right, did not look comfortable next to her. He kept pointing at her and making these silly gestures with his face, like I'm raising his finger. I mean, it was just a joke. It's a Saturday
Night Live bit. As somebody
in
said,
making.
Larry David and Tina Fey should cancel their winter plans.
Yeah, more of your phone calls coming up. 312-642-5600.
I cherish women.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, we had a pretty nasty start. Is anything getting better, Bruce?
Well, let me tell you, I guess the snow is stopped right now, but it's cold, cloudy this morning, then times of clouds and sun this afternoon, a high of 23. Tonight, mostly cloudy and cold, a low of 11. Tomorrow, cloudy most of the time, high of 29, low tomorrow night, 14. Now with a check on that traffic, Jim Telemonte.
Bruce and Amy, traffic still getting worse. I-80 eastbound is jammed. LaGrange Road to I-57 with a crash in the two left lanes. Westbound, big delays. Ridgeland to 80th Avenue and from 355 to 55. 80-94. Heavy delays on the westbound side from I-65 all the way to Torrance and Lansing. Eastbound, Calumet Avenue to Klein. To Edens, 46 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 36 to Kennedy, an hour and a half. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 22 minutes. Eisenhower, an hour and 38 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, an hour 12 from Manheim, outbound an hour to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Delay start at US 30. Outbound it's an hour and a half as well. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, and the tollways have big delays. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Hey, guys and gals, maybe we can't stop time, but the bags and puffiness under your eyes don't need to be there. And now, thanks to Genucell, you can definitely get rid of them. The new Genucell plant stem cell therapy for bags and puffiness under the eyes from our good friends at Chamonix is doing just that for men and women all across this great country. Why wait? Order it now and see the difference. Josie from Arizona wrote, I've been using Genucell for 2 weeks and my husband is amazed. All the puffiness is gone. In fact, with its instant effects, you can see results in as little as 12 hours or your money back. 1-800-525-8323. That's the number. 800-525-8323. Order Genucell right now and get the legendary Esotique Wrinkle Cream absolutely free with your order. Genucell works guaranteed or your money back. Call 800-525-8323. That's 800-525-8323.
There is nothing more beautiful than a landscape that creates a memory. Strong, sturdy oaks, golden prairie grass, and stunning wildflowers delicately dancing in the wind. Restoring your grounds creates a lasting impact, both environmentally and professionally. Tallgrass Restoration uses scientifically proven, cost-effective methods to restore and preserve private, corporate, and public properties, including wetlands, woodlands, and prairies. Tallgrass Restoration enlists licensed professionals who have extensive knowledge of land to transform the beauty and ecological health of natural areas for the entire world to enjoy. Life is a journey from birth to death, but a landscape left behind of tantalizing allure and overwhelming grace lasts forever. Let Tallgrass Restoration transform your land's legacy. Visit tallgrassrestoration.com to start planning your possibilities before spring. That's tallgrassrestoration.com or call them at 1-877-699-8300.
Well, hey there, I'm Naomi Judd. As an entertainer, I know firsthand how music, TV, and movies can really touch our heart and stir up powerful emotions. That can be a wonderful thing. But you know, when we're talking about impressionable young kids and the entertainment they're consuming is violent or highly sexualized, it can be downright dangerous. Kids today are growing up in a media culture that is saturated with shocking images and negative messages. And I'm really concerned that it's hurting our kids. That's why I joined the Parents Television Council. people. The PTC is the nation's most influential organization protecting children against graphic sex, violence, and profanity in entertainment. Membership is free, and you will be joining your voice with more than 1 million other Americans who share your values. To learn more, go to www.parentstv.org, or you can call 1-800-TV-COUNTS. The Parents Television Council, because our children are watching.
AM 560, The Answer.
So the question is, does Sarah Palin have the potential in Iowa to give Trump the bump that he needs?
This election is more than just your basic ABCs. Anybody but Clinton. It's more than that this go around.
Yeah, she was all riled up, all juiced up when she was throwing her support publicly yesterday afternoon behind Donald Trump. Your phone calls 312-642-5600. Let's go to Verlin on the south side. Good morning, Verlin.
Hey, how you doing, Amy? And what up, Bruce, my man?
Verlin, my man.
All right. This is one of the rare times that happens every blue moon that I got to agree with Sean. And Amy, don't listen to what that woman said earlier about you being catty. You can say whatever you want about that airheaded dingbat loser. This is the mistake that Donald Trump, I knew he was going to make sooner or later, trying to be extreme. Didn't he learn from John McCain a little while ago that this woman is just a born loser? Oh, my God. I can't believe it's going to happen. We're about to have Hillary as a president.
All right. Thanks so much, Verlin. And quickly, let's go to John.
If she isn't indicted.
Yeah. And quickly, the Daily News, the front page of the Daily newspaper today said, stupid. I'm with stupid. That's a headline. It said, hate minds think alike. Palin endorses Trump.
The Chicago Daily News is back. Okay.
That was really rude. Let's go to John and Palatine.
A lot of the callers. Trump is very calculating, and if you looked at him throughout this entire electoral process, he's taken and dispensed of one potential winning candidate at a time. And by him having Sarah Palin there, I think he really did it to burn Cruz, because he needs to burn Cruz just this one time, right then and there in Iowa, where Cruz is really seems to possibly win it. And so I think it was a brilliant move. And
thank you, John Krauthammer. You absolutely are correct.
No, it's true. And I'm sure that Sarah Palin is going to be compensated somehow, some way from Donald Trump, if not now, Bruce, in the near future.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I've been taking it, and I'm actually feeling better. I know that I'm not coughing anymore, and I was coughing all the time.
I notice my body feels better.
I have diabetes. I had my blood work done, and I had really good numbers.
I want to thank you for your product and all that. It's been great.
I got my kids taking them now. Got my parents taking them. My brothers, my best friends. Got everybody on them.
I love the product, and I love Dr. Howard. I trust him. I feel safe. I think his product is superb. I'm going to continue with it.
Get started early on your New Year's resolution with our best price of the year. Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Now that the holidays are over, it's time to start thinking a little about yourself. One way would be to treat yourself to a MyPillow. There are many of you who've procrastinated. Don't put it off any longer. MyPillow is a premium pillow with 4 different loft levels that are customized to your individual preference. And for our listeners who use the promo code AMY, you'll get 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. It's MyPillow's best offer. It's so important to get a great night's sleep. I myself have a MyPillow. My wife has a MyPillow. We fight over the MyPillows. Why don't we just get another one? We'll do that. MyPillow helps with snoring, headaches, neck pain, insomnia, and allergies. Plus, it's washable, keeps its shape, gives you support where you need it most. That's why it's the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. For this 2 for the price of 1 offer, visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use the promo code AMY. Do it now, 800-489-0201 or online at MyPillow.com. Promo code AMY, 800-489-0201. Coming up, the Oscar boycott. Is it Hollywood hypocrisy? And now it's time for the news with Mike Scott.
Bruce, thank you. Good morning. 16 degrees, some clouds and snow showers. Sarah Palin making news, joining Donald Trump today at 2 campaign events, one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yesterday, Palin endorsing the Republican frontrunner in Iowa.
Yes, the status quo has got to go. Otherwise, we're just going to get more of the same. And with their failed agenda, it can't be salvaged. It must be savaged. And Donald Trump is the right one to do that.
Telling a rally at Iowa State University that with Trump as president, America would no longer apologize. There's new polling out this morning showing Democrat presidential candidate Bernie Sanders with a big lead over Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire. The CNN survey showing that 60% of potential New Hampshire voters are backing the Vermont senator. Michigan Governor Rick Snyder says the state of Michigan will commit $28 million short-term to pay for water filters and health professionals to deal with the Flint water crisis.
I know apologies won't make up for the mistakes that were made. Nothing will. But I take full responsibility to fix the problem so it will never happen again.
The city's tap water became contaminated with too much lead after the city tried to save money by switching water to other sources from Detroit in 2014. In Detroit today, most public schools are closed for the day because a number of teachers have called out sick. They're protesting, they say, school conditions and the district's financial condition. The Associated Press says it's received a claim of responsibility for today's deadly attack at a Pakistani university from the same Taliban leader who was the mastermind behind the 2014 school attack in Peshawar that killed 150. The Coast Guard is suspending the search for 12 Marines involved in a mid-air collision off the coast of Hawaii. Coast Guard Captain Jim Jenkins says the search was called off late last night after no signs of survivors were found. A man is dead after he was struck by a van on the Edens Expressway in north suburban Wilmette. Police say he jumped out of a vehicle he was riding in because that vehicle ran out of gas. Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan today that would allow the Chicago Public Schools to declare bankruptcy. House Leader Jim Durkin and Senate Leader Christine Radogno are scheduled to lay out the proposal during a news conference later today. And the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office says skull fragments found inside a Chicago industrial building this week are nothing to be concerned about. The ME's office found the 13 fragments were sawed in a manner consistent with teaching or an autopsy. Also, they found out the building the fragments were found in Monday was home to a supplier of scientific materials and equipment. Chicago sports. Blackhawks over Nashville 4-1. College hoops. Big Ten play. Maryland over Northwestern in overtime. Indiana whitewashed the Fighting Illini, while Northern Illinois was a winner over Central Michigan in the MAC, 75-70. The news, a service of Aurora University Online Learning. To pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose from fully online programs in accounting, business, education, criminal justice, integrated communications, nursing, and social work. Learn more. Visit online.aurora.edu. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes the president's agenda is easy to see.
The biggest clue as to what's in his heart is when he says too many people are killed by guns in America. And his first example, suicides. Well, I don't know how he proposes to stop suicidal people from shooting themselves, except to take their guns away from them. That's what he wants to do.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
LiveWatch helps you connect and respond up to 10 times faster in an emergency. LiveWatch has no long-term contracts. Save up to 50% off home security. Call 855-LiveWatch or visit livewatch.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. You know, nothing frustrates me more than liberal hypocrisy. Take our food, for example. You know, the left claims to care about the poor and the environment. But guess what? They're waging a silent war against America's farmers that is making our food supply more costly and less sustainable. America's family farmers are producing more food using less land and fewer resources than ever before. Now, they should be cheered, but instead, radical groups are working with government bureaucrats to crack down on our farmers and limit the tools and technology that they're allowed to use. And the result is higher food costs for you, the American consumer, and low-income families. They're hit the hardest. Now, thankfully, someone is fighting back. Protect the Harvest is a national coalition working to defend modern American agriculture. You can check them out at protecttheharvest.com and follow them on Facebook to get the very latest news and see how you can help. Don't let radical activists control your family's food choices. Visit protecttheharvest.com today.
8:37 in our Chicago RadioDeals.com traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Like 8094 has heavy delays eastbound Calumet Avenue decline with a crash in the left lane. Westbound it's slow all the way from I-65 to Torrance. I-80 eastbound clearing up a bit. Crash at I-57 is gone, but the delays are still heavy starting at Wolf Road. Westbound, it's very slow from 355 to Briggs with a number of spinouts. Eden's 46 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 40. The Kennedy an hour and 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound an hour 15. Guys an hour and 38 minutes. Thorndale to the post office outbound it's an hour. Stevenson an hour 38. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound it's an hour and a half. The Ryan 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive southbound slow. Bryn Mawr to Oak. Northbound 31st to Jackson. Tri-State southbound heavy, 132 to 176. Northbound from the Thornton Quarry to I-80, Kedzie to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. The other tollways still heavy too. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, 80 years of quality mechanical solutions for your business. Cloudy and cold. This morning, sun breaks out this afternoon, high 23 and a low of 11 overnight. 14 at O'Hare, 16 along Chicago's lakefront. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in with us on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hollywood.
You know, if we had a child, I'm Bruce Wolf. She's Amy Jacobson. I wanted to name our first daughter Holly, so we could say, hooray for Holly Wolf. But we didn't do that. No.
That's so sweet. Well, in Hollywood, the chorus is growing against people who are going to be boycotting this year's Oscars. They're upset for the second year in a row that the top 20 actor candidates for best, the top 20 people are not African American. Not one single person up for best actor in the male or female category. African American.
Why are
not
there
one best supporting actor up for an Oscar is African American?
Why do we distinguish between male and female actors? I mean, shouldn't there just be one actor?
No, it's more exciting when you have more categories.
But I mean, it's like discriminatory.
No, it's
not.
not.
Do we have best black actor and best white actor?
Well, we might be starting to have that because George Clooney now. George Clooney is joining the growing chorus of people who are upset with the Academy for allegedly discriminating against African Americans. And I present to you this morning an actor, David Awalawa.
If you say Awalawa backwards, it's Awalawa?
Do you know that? I butchered it. He was in 12 Years a Slave, an accomplished actor.
Which is why,
he is also boycotting the Oscars.
The Academy has a problem. For 20 opportunities to celebrate actors of color, actresses of color, to be missed last year is one thing. For that to happen again this year is unforgivable.
So it sounds like an African American to me.
So there's a hashtag out, Oscar So White. Oscar So White for the second year in a row. And Jada Pinkett Smith.
Will Smith.
Yes, Will Smith's wife.
Because he's hiding behind her skirt.
She is one who is boycotting. She's leading the charge, Bruce.
Is it time that people of color recognize how much power, influence that we have amassed, that we no longer need to ask to be invited anywhere?
Influence? I have the influenza.
312-642-5600 is the number. Is this much to do about nothing, or do these people, that sounds right, do these people have a legitimate beef, a legitimate complaint? Because I do. Right. I saw Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
I saw.
Is it
Chirac.
Academy Award worthy?
Oh, Chirac was horrible.
But how about
Straight Outta Compton was beautifully written
How about
and
Creed?
beautifully executed. I saw Creed and Michael B. Jordan,
It's
the
not that
lead.
good, but
no,
Sylvester Stallone is
no.
fantastic.
You asked me about Creed. Did you see Creed?
No, but I know of it.
Oh my gosh!
I'm a
Listen to
dilettante.
you.
I'm making this stuff up.
Well, I'm not. I saw
Yeah.
Creed and I thought Michael B. Jordan did a wonderful job. Was he Oscar worthy? Yeah, but you know who's Oscar worthy is Will Smith in Concussion. He was amazing, and he got snubbed for the what Matt Damon and The Martian. I mean, come on. There's something to this. And then if you look at the Academy members, though, 98% are white, just 2% are black.
You know what?
black people. I love black people.
You know what happened? 12 Years a Slave wins it, okay?
Yes.
And so then the Academy feels, okay, we got our liberal guilt out. And then they don't give anything the next year to, what, Selma was it, I guess? So now,
Selma was horrible.
Well,
Did you see Selma?
I know of it.
Oh, my gosh. You are
Hey, I
so-
marched in Selma in 63, so I 65.
Yeah, I
I don't
lived
really
it.
need.
No, Selma was
I was a
not.
freedom
it was
writer.
Not well put together. It was not
Okay,
a
so
great
here's the
movie.
thing. So that's what happened. Look, it's Hollywood hypocrisy.
Oprah Winfrey ruined Selma, by the way, because as soon as she appeared, I thought she just changed the whole tone of the movie. It was
Well, when she
odd.
gave away like Pontiacs to all the marchers, it just didn't fit. It was like anachronistic. But here's the thing. I actually lost my train of thought here, Amy.
Wow, this
Senior
is a big
moment.
day.
No.
All right, well, you compose yourself when you listen to Spike Lee, because Spike Lee ain't going to the Oscars.
We need to have some serious discussion about diversity and get some flavor up in this.
Get some flav up in this.
Flava
Some
Flav.
flav. I need to give me some flav.
Remember Flava
That's
Flav was
awesome.
so old in the roast? Isn't this the guy who was so old when he was roasted? Like he got the money, the first paycheck that he got was he bought his freedom with.
I just know
mean,
that,
that was
I
on
just
a
know that he
roast.
wore a clock around his neck. All right, so the president of the Academy, Cheryl Boone
Isaacs.
Thank you. African American, says she's working on the problem. This is great. Everybody's working. Everybody's so busy.
We're still working very hard and we'll continue to work hard to bring in more inclusion.
Okay, just nominate an African American actor. 312-642-5600. Why is this so hard? I mean, do you think they're being discriminated against, or do you think their performances were as good? I understand you're Michael B. Jordan with Creed.
First of all, that's
but
a slur
Will
to say Michael
Smith-
B. Jordan.
Will-
Michael is Jordan.
Will Smith did an amazing job.
But-
This is not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air anymore.
You know, somebody who was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes.
Forgot her name. She was an actress with her.
Oh.
She's gone on YouTube or whatever, and she's basically said, "Oh, thanks, Will Smith, for telling us to join your boycott when we're trying to earn a dime right now, and you're part of the system. You're hiding behind your wife's skirt." And also, when we were working with you on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we asked, "Hey, can we all get together and like the people on Friends did and get good salaries?" And you said, "No, I'm in it for myself." So Will Smith's in it for himself.
312-642-5600 is the Academy racist. Let's go to Bob, who joins us from beautiful Waukegan. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Yeah, my thing is, who gives a frack? I mean, these people are beautiful people kissing the rear ends of beautiful people. They're making millions of dollars per film. I mean, Jada and Will could buy half of Illinois if they wanted to in cash.
Yeah,
So
but they
this
want to
is-
be honored, and they want to be honored by their peers for the good works that they've done.
You know, if they can't pat themselves on the back and get up every morning and go to work like 100 million of the rest of us do every day, we don't get any damn awards. But we still have to get up and do what we do to the top of our ability, so that we continue to have work. Hell, if I got $1 million for a job I was on, I'd do 5 jobs and retire.
Bob, aren't you concerned that Jennifer Lawrence gets only 77 cents on the dollar?
I could care less.
I was concerned about that. All right, thanks, Bob, for the phone call and for your passion. Let's go to Mark in Libertyville. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Bruce, I got a question for you. You said that one gentleman sounded like he was African American, but he had a British accent.
No, I was saying I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know, but remember,
It's hard to
Hat
see my
Tillman?
italics and quote marks when I'm on the radio. Go ahead.
Do you remember Dorothy the Hat Tillman when the Spice Girls were touring America and they had Gary Spice Girl who was black and she raised a big ruckus about her being African American and stuff? I'm like, Dorothy, but she's from England.
Yeah.
So I'm just messing with you.
Thanks
Have
so
a good
much.
day.
I like being messed with. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, it's good.
Let me
So-
get the part back in my hair here.
All right, so now
You
we have
tousled
3.
it.
So we have Spike Lee. We have this David of Walla 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 guy. That's so rude.
From
I mean,
Walla
really.
Walla Walla and Kalamazoo. It's the Cubs
Ola-
song. It's a beautiful
Ov-
day for a ball game.
Ovi Lawola.
We'll be at-
Ovalawola.
Ovalawola.
And Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith.
Yeah.
And
You know what,
George Clooney is upset. He's
know-
not, but he didn't say that he's not going to the Oscars. He
Look,
just said he understands why they're upset.
Forget about the Oscar boycott. If Jesse Jackson were still alive, remember,
Jesse
there would
Jackson
be
is still alive.
No, if there were there should be a boycott of the NFL draft in Chicago by top tier athletes until Rahm resigns. See? Yeah.
You're so smart. Text messages pouring in 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. How about get rid of the Oscars? It's the most annoying thing seeing Hollywood people pat themselves on the back.
By the way, the movie, TV, has usurped all the cultural. What's the German word I want to look for? Let's say Weltanschauung, even though it's not appropriate. TV has taken precedence over Hollywood now. I mean, the greatest drama is on television. House of Cards, and what's in Hollywood? What are the movies? All they do is remake Batman over and over again.
But keep in mind, Bruce, more than half of moviegoers are minorities. Let's go to Deborah, who's in Palatine. Good morning, Deborah. How are you?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Well, I've had better days, but I'm hanging in there.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I feel your pain. Why is everything a race issue now? Can we do nothing without throwing out the race card? It seems like we can't. It is so wearying to have this continue on. Maybe his performance isn't worthy of an Oscar nomination. Can we just maybe have it?
You know what? I would agree with you, but I saw the movie, and I really think Will Smith should be up for an Oscar
But Deborah,
for concussion.
isn't it great to hoist Hollywood by its petard? Because Hollywood is liberal. And, of course, it's all, that's what liberals are. It's always, good for thee, but not for me. And, it's like Seinfeld, didn't want to have, black writers or black comedians with him, although he likes Chris Rock. But I'm sure he's, a good liberal. He has Barack Obama in his car doing comedy. Yeah. It's always good for thee.
Chris Rock had the best line of all. He said, watch me host the Oscars, because he's the host this year. And it's the white BET Awards.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Here's your weather forecast for today and the next few days. Any relief in sight?
Well, today it's going to be cold, cloudy this morning, and times of clouds and sun this afternoon, a high of 23. Mostly cloudy and cold with a low of 11 tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy most of the time, high 29. Low tomorrow night, 14. Now with a check of traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Bruce and Amy, 8094 has heavy delays westbound from I-65 all the way to Torrance Avenue. Eastbound slow, Calumet Avenue to Klein with a crash in the left lane. Eastbound I-80 still tied up from Wolf to I-57. The Edens runs 46 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 40. The Kennedy, an hour and 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 30 in the Express. Outbound an hour and 15 minutes to O'Hare. Guys, an hour and 31 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound it's an hour. Stevenson, an hour 48 from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour 28. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State, southbound slow 132 to 176. Northbound from the Thornton Quarry to I-80, Kedzie to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway, Reagan Tollway still very slow going from the Aurora Toll Plaza much of the way to Midwest Road. I'm Jim Talamonte, ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
You did it. That's right. Because of your generosity and support of our annual Feed the Children campaign, we were able to reach our goal of feeding more than 18,000 children around Chicagoland this holiday season. Those are real families with real needs that you have helped meet. We especially want to thank the many business benefactors who stepped up in a big way. When you hear their advertisements on this station in the coming months, we encourage you to support them as a way of saying thanks for their generosity. And just because we met our goal in 2015, that doesn't mean that the need has gone away. Hunger is still a real challenge for thousands of families and children in our area. Please continue to support Feed the Children with a tax-deductible gift of any amount at any time. Just go to feedthechildren.org. And thanks again from all of us at AM 560, The Answer.
I just took Balance of Nature for the first time. You guys are awesome. God bless you. I have CIDP. It's helped me with my balance. It's helped clear up my skin condition.
I honestly did notice a difference. That's why I reordered it.
I feel good. I really just feel good. Everything has changed. I just feel so much better.
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this product works. It's helped me as far as my overall health. I even recommended it to my mother, and she's been taking it, and she's 89 years old.
Get started early on your New Year's resolution with our best price of the year. Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Have you been getting the runaround on a mortgage modification application? Underwater with your mortgage? Well, you'd be not alone. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of other people in the same boat with you. My name is Lou Bridges. My partner Scott Owen and I put together a law firm. One of the things we do is help people with modifications, only we don't just submit an application. Through proprietary software that we have access to, we determine what program or programs your loan is eligible for and what it would take to qualify you for those programs under the regulations. We work with our team of people, paralegals and clerks, and we put together everything, and then we submit the application for modification to the servicing bank. Only then we're not asking them, we're telling them this is the modification program our client has chosen from among those that we have confirmed they qualify for, their loan is eligible for under the regulations that you will give. And you must give because the net present value is far greater for the owner of the mortgage. So servicer, thank you for the modification. No more runarounds. Give us a call. We'll give you a free consultation.
224-513-1231. Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
So we got a text message, a lot of text messages this morning. Thank you so much for reaching out to the show. Here's a good one. Who wants to see a movie about a bunch of rappers singing about killing cops? Those Academy voters didn't even want to see that. And you know what? Point taken with that. It was a good movie. But it was a lot of lies because then you went up. Dr. Dre's portrayed so beautifully. You know, he's a good human being. He's like the good one in the group. And he's not. You go online and then read about him. Domestic abuse, domestic violence charges. I think he had 3 of those. A DUI charge. You know, one he was escaping cops going 90 miles per hour. So.
And when does this come to HBO? Okay. I see movies like 3-5 years later.
Yeah, why? But you read about them, so you feel that it's if
I'm
you've
a dilettante.
experienced them. Because
I read the reviewers.
According to you, you've seen every movie that's up for an Oscar.
I never could actually
without stepping foot in a theater. This is amazing.
I could never read like Ebert and Siskel because I was so impressionable. I am so impressionable. I go into a movie theater and say, "Oh, yes, I have the." So this is a textured performance right here by Sidney Poitier because Roger Ebert told me it was.
So other big news this morning: Pete Rose. Because you're a sports guy, so I have to ask you about this. I woke up to news that Pete Rose might be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
The Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame, not the Baseball Hall of Fame, which I believe is like a renegade states' rights movement against the federal government. Let's send in the National Guard right now. Pete Rose should not be able to go to into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame if he can't be in Cooperstown.
This is just outrageous.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook. Or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
CertaPro are the experts in exterior painting, but now is the perfect time to paint your interior, refresh and renew your living space, and escape the winter doldrums. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I've used CertaPro several times to paint my home. They're fast, efficient, clean. CertaPro is easy to work with, so your life won't be disrupted by messy, inconsiderate contractors. They will move the furniture, and when they finish, they'll move it back. With their color specialist, CertaPro takes the stress out of choosing the perfect color. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life. Call CertaPro today at 1-800-GO-CERTA or visit CertaPro.com. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with the C. Book your winter painting project now. Schedule your free estimate today. CertaPro painters are locally owned and operated. 1-800-GO-CERTA, 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with the C.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to drill down and talk about the big ideas behind the big issues. That's where Upstream Ideas comes in. Upstream Ideas, online at upstream-ideas.com, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted orthodoxies. In other words, Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now to upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to spur you on to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit more free, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-